Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexios here, and it is Tuesday morning, and the Raptors lost to the Brooklyn Nets. What? And we have a problem because one of our players is stupid, apparently. We'll have to figure out if this is true or not. My camera isn't working again, so I'm going to be blind. I don't know what I look like on the screen. I can't monitor the screen, so it is what it is. We're going to do what we do and just make the best of what we can. All right. So, but good to see you guys this morning, if not myself on the stream. Craziness. All right. Let's get right into it. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to go straight to y'all's comments. Of course, we got the stars of the game, we got the score predictions to go over. And yeah, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday. I've found this season to be one of the craziest seasons ever in Raptors history. And well, of course, that something like this can happen. In fact, Chris, it's kind of funny that you're the first comment today. Because what did you say like a week ago? You said, "Oh, it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse this season." Well, Chris, yesterday with Jonte Porter, that's worse, Chris. So be careful what you say. When you say, "Oh, it can't get any worse," it always can get worse, Chris. So just don't say shit like that. Please. Please don't say shit like that. It can't get any worse. Oh, yeah, it can. How about our, this is the weird thing. We've had two great center prospects this year that have been awesome. Absolutely fantastic. One of them had a medical issue that was a mystery for a good part of the season. And we found out eventually they had blood clots and they would be a wash. We wouldn't get anything from them. Well, you got Jonte this year. And man, he's been so awesome. And we've been like, yeah, this guy's going to be great. Well, now we're having another issue with another center on our team, possibly not being available for us ever again. And honestly, the way it looks like with this story, it's I don't know what to believe. I'm going to go by what Garrett Temple said after the game. And he said, look, Jonte Porter is a member of our team. He's a member of a players union, and he is innocent until proven guilty. And he hates the allegations. He really hopes they're not true. He's going to let them investigate, and we're going to see what goes on here with Jonte. But as of now, of course, the NBA Players Association and Garrett Temple are going to be standing behind Jonte Porter and presume he's innocent. And the union is there for this reason. This is a great example of why unions are awesome and why they're very important, is because, Jonte could be falsely accused by the evil Woj and Wendy with his fingers. That's who accused him. That's who wrote these articles. So that's why this is bona fide, y'all. But there's also been a lot of talk about the power of Woj in the last year or so to be able to change stocks, to change opinions, to change money for people. He has a lot of fucking power, Adrian Wojnarowski, at this point. And even if this allegation isn't true, he's kind of ruined Jonte Porter's career already. That's the thing. Wojnarowski has a power. He has a big, huge sword that he wields, and he can cut people up. And that's what he did to our young Jonte yesterday. Him and Winders, they've doubled down. They had to have two names on there just to make sure it's really bona fide. Because look, I mean, there was a rumor yesterday at one point where Dana said, "Oh, Steve Kerr's been fired." And I was like, I don't believe that. I'm going to go look on ESPN the page, because if Steve Kerr got fired, that's number one news. That's all over the place. There's nowhere to be found. All right. So then I see something about Jonte Porter gambling. I'm like, is that a real story or not? Well, I go to ESPN, and it's on the front page, and it's endorsed by Adrian Wojnarowski and Brian Windhurst, two of the top ESPN analysts and reporters. I'm telling you, Woj is powerful. And, there's a couple different ways we look at this. In some ways, I'm feeling Jonte is like an Azotam, that he's just a patsy, like this idiot Azotam with the lawsuit with the New York Knicks. I feel like in some ways, all right, there's a couple things going on here with Jonte, and I don't know what's true or not, but I do know a couple things that I found out from talking to Tom, the family friend of the Porter family. When Jonte came to 905, he was watching all the 905 games with me, and he was telling me all about Jonte and Michael Porter Jr. and their life and their things. And one of the things Tom said about Jonte was that he's really, really smart financially, that this guy knows how to make money. Now, when he said that, I just assumed that he's like investing in companies, and he's like got a portfolio or some shit, fucking, like stocks. I didn't expect that the financial wizardry of Jonte Porter is to bet on himself for the under and then fake an injury and leave the game early to make sure his bets get covered. That is what he's under investigation right now for. That that him or some person associated with him. See, there's a betting irregularity that happened. And this is where I'm not sure if he's a patsy or not, but the suspicious behavior is him exiting the games. And Dargo said after the game last night, I trust my players. When they tell me they're hurt or they're sick, I say, okay, I won't play you anymore. Most guys aren't opting out. Most guys aren't tapping out. Most guys aren't tagging out like this is a tag team match. And there's Shawn Michaels hitting Marty Jannetty with the hat tag. No. This is a weird thing. And I thought this was fishy all year in some ways about Jonte, that he has a proclivity to have weird ailments or leave games in the middle of games. And it was annoying me. In fact, the mystery of him not playing on Saturday to me was like, what the hell is wrong with him? Like, is he injury prone? Does he have an injury problem? Why the fuck is he not playing on Saturday night? Well, we found out that it's probably because the NBA forbid him from playing. The official account for why Jonte didn't play on Saturday was sick, that he was sick, but that was bullshit. I think that he was already under investigation because the second game that apparently he did this really shady thing was just last week. It was on the 20th of this month. So they saw the irregularity from before in February in a game where he got taken out for like an eye thing or something. And they were like, oh, this is weird. The highest payouts for bets this night all are associated with Jonte Porter not making 3-pointers. Now, that's the crazy thing. Like, a lot of people are making the joke today that, oh, bet on yourself meant bet on yourself to do better, Jonte. It is really, really gross and disgusting if Jonte did like fake injuries to leave games so that his numbers would be lower so that people would win money. And that's what happened. That's what happened. If he didn't know about it and it's just dumb luck, like what they're going to do is they're going to come to him and they're going to say, well, why did you miss the game the other day? Can we see the proof that you were sick or that you were hurt and all this kind of stuff? They're going to want proof of why he left these games. If it's just a weird coincidence that he's getting bet on a lot by people like crazy and that, like, he just happened to miss the games for whatever reason, I don't know. It's fishy as fuck. Let's just put it that way. It is fishy as fuck. And I mean, I want to presume he's innocent just like Garrett Temple too. But once again, we have to be realistic here. Woj and Wendy are putting their names on this. They're putting their bona fide reputations as ESPN guys. This is the guy who did the Ohtani flying into Toronto bullshit. He got in trouble for that, and his reputation was ruined forever. The Winders and Wojnarowski are not going to do frivolous reports unless they really feel like it's something for real. Now, what I will say also is that this is probably not the first person that's been investigated and got in trouble for this. I kind of remember a Heat player already getting in trouble for betting on themselves. So I don't know. We're going to have to see how this all falls out. Of course, it's the Raptors that's going to get this happening the first time. Of course, they're going to put this on broadcast. Of course, the U.S. media and Hockey Canada are going to eat this up and love it because in some ways, not only are we in a bad place with our record, not only are people getting disengaged with it, now there's more bad press that one of the Raptors is a fucking cheat. And this is not good for us in any kind of way. But I will talk about the bright side, and I will talk about the ways that this can work out for us in the end. Because this is a really weird situation. This is absolutely bizarre. So bizarre. All right, let me read you guys' comments. Chris is saying 15 points, 58% from the field, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 0 turnovers, a dunk. Player of the game and our future 3-string point guard, JFL. The future is now, Javon Freeman-Liberty. All right, I will agree. I did make Javon my number 1 star of the game. He was the star of the game for me. I did really like the dunk he did. It was a very nice dunk. He did shoot very, very well, 7 of 12 from the field. He did miss both of his 3-pointers, including one that was open right at the beginning of the game. Right as to start the game, JFL is a wide open 3, and he misses it. That kind of annoyed me because, like, all right, man, you're getting your chance. You're starting right now. Make a good impression. When you get your first shot and it's a wide open 3 on our first possession, make it. That's the best way to get in Lex's good books. But he didn't make it right away. But he did make most of his shots, so I'll give him that. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers, as Chris said, 15 points in 29 minutes. It's still not good enough, Chris. And in some ways, listen, this team last night, the Nets, are not that good either. It's better than the Wizards, but man, we should have had a 20-point score somewhere. And I hate the fact that once again, we don't have anybody scoring 20 points on the whole entire team. Gary was the closest with 18. But yeah, that's no good. There needs to be a 20-point score every single night. I don't care who next man up, the contingency that we're putting out there on the court as the Raptors. Somebody needs to get 20. Somebody needs to get 20. And, I was thinking this game would be a little tough to score because both teams would have trouble shooting, and I was right. And the score was very low. And I won the score prediction, y'all, just so y'all know. I got the best score last night when we predicted. So, and I'll go over that in just a little bit. But yeah, you know what? I'll give Javon Freeman Liberty his praise today, Chris. But I'm not going to get down with what you're saying there. I don't think it's worth bringing him back next year. The third point guard position is kind of doesn't exist anymore. The third point guard is actually the starting point guard for the G League. And I'm not anyway. I've already been on the record. You're on the record for liking him. We'll see what happens. Chris is saying, and never mind Jonte, a total fool. In other news, the booty bandit home, P. Diddy raided his escape to Antigua to be short-lived. R. Kelly keeping the bottom bunk warm for him. Cat Williams called it. Yeah, that's a story I don't know anything about. If Diddy's in trouble, well, he probably deserves what he's going to get. But you know what? This is something I have no knowledge of. And honestly, it's not that interesting to me. It's not really that interesting. I know that Cat Williams went on some sort of rant in the last year or so, calling out Hollywood elites and different people and saying this person's like this and this. And people were really into that popular rant and stuff. But this isn't something that I'm knowledgeable about, so I'm not going to opine on it too much. But yeah, we will not never mind Jonte. We're going to have to talk about this. And you know what? He is a fool. He is a fool. If he did this and he messed around on his chance like this, there's more reasons why I think he might be guilty. And I hate it because honestly, I can see some of the signs. Like when I think about the whole situation, and I've watched Jonte so closely since he's showed up on G League. I've watched all his interviews. I've watched all of his games on both the Raptors and the 905. So if there's any kind of, person that should be talking about Jonte, it's probably me because I have been really paying attention to him. And obviously, like I said, I talked to the family friend, Tom, during those streams, and he has an insight because he works with them or he helps them in some way. I don't know what it is. Well, I would say this. I feel like Jonte Porter is an amazing basketball player with a lot of good instincts as far as he covers a lot of ground. I've been raving about his floor space taking up. Like it seems like whenever he's playing, he's in the center of the lane, and he just gets fingers and hands on things, deflections, causes shit disturbances on their side when we're on defense and they're on offense. I love all that. I feel like he's really innately smart basketball wise, but I don't think he's very smart as a person. In fact, in the interviews when he talks, I'm like, all right, this guy is not totally up here, and I could get that, but I don't care if you're dumb or not. I just care if you can play basketball. Well, sometimes it does matter if you're dumb, because if you're making dumb decisions like he is, well, yeah, that's a problem. The other thing about Jonte I'm going to say right now is because of his injuries, because of his ACL, this is even on the Open Gym that came out last week. Talk about really shitty timing. The Open Gym with Javon Freeman Liberty and Jonte Porter comes out, and it really is right in the middle of the NBA fully coming down on him. It's like that episode dropped, and the feds around the NBA are coming after him for a crazy betting thing. And it sucks. But on that episode, he actually says at one point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to resume my NBA career because I had other financial opportunities in front of me. Whether it was the European route where he could take a quick payday and go play in Europe. No, he wanted to keep his dream to play in the NBA alive. But I know also from talking to Tom that he had a real financial alternative that he could have done than going back to the NBA. So, I can Windhurst this, even though this is the asshole who wrote this article, that there's something about money in Jonte's life. Money is very, very important to him. I have the feeling. because they talk about finances and being a financial genius, the people around him. That in some ways, I could say that if he's not going to take the financial route and make a bunch of money in Europe or make a bunch of money doing whatever financial wizardry that he's good at, why he went back to the NBA. Now the money's not good in the G League. The money's not good in the G League. He's not making a regular NBA wage right now. He's making the minimum for whatever you do in G League on two-way contract and all that stuff. It could be that he was trying to supplement his income in a dumbass way while he was in the NBA. And I hate that. I hate the fact that he would risk things like this to do something so dumb. Like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid, Jonte. And like once again, everybody's gonna be mad at you because you're picking the under and you're picking yourself to lose. And there's more respect in somebody who bets on themselves to like do better and then they go out there and do it. But yeah, to bet on you to do shittier and then do shittier, it is really, really suspicious. Really, really, really suspicious. Nameless is saying maybe this Portergate is exactly what was needed to separate church from state and get rid of legalized gambling from professional sports. You'll never get rid of them otherwise, like termites. I'm with you on this. And in some ways, our team being the one that's the first to take this kind of like public kind of bullshit, it may help us in the long run. Because honestly, this is something that maybe Masai and Bobby had a blind spot to that they need to start consider going forward when they're thinking about personnel for our team. That, we have a lot of criteria and we very much vet people who are possibly going to get a chance to be a vet on our team. They need to fucking go through a lot of checks. We do FBI checks, we do personality checks, we do all kinds of background checks on players. And may very well be that Masai and Bobby have to understand a type that may be developing now that is very dangerous for your team. And that they're going to have to be more wary of this. It's the kind of thing where if we're going to make this mistake right now with Jonte Porter, we never want to make it again. And hopefully Bobby and Masai will safeguard us from having any more scandals like this ever again. It's really funny. Darko really distancing himself from it. He didn't know about it in the pregame interview, so they didn't talk about it at that time. But after the game, they did talk about it in the postgame, and Darko's very defensive, saying things like, I've gone to summer league in Vegas so many summers as an NBA person for many years, and I never once took one bet on anything. A betting culture is not a part of my life. I have nothing to do with it. You can tell in some ways Darko's really annoyed with this development. It's like he said, it's like, I've never ever dealt with something like this in my entire life of coaching. Something like this happening like this. So it's a new experience for not just us as fans. It's a new experience for the people in our franchise also. And hopefully we'll learn from it and we will avoid anything like this ever fucking happening again. That's what I'm hoping, Nameless, that this could be. And, you're talking about in this way, it could be helpful. It is a problem already. I mean, we're looking at the stuff with Ohtani and the MLB and his translator. And now this, I mean, this was inevitable. You're really dumb, Adam Silver. You're really dumb to allow the sports betting because this is just the tip of the iceberg. This Jonte Porter is not going to be an anomaly. This is not Tim Donaghy, where the NBA may do the same thing that they did to Donaghy to Jonte, may very much disgrace him and put him off into exile, just like Tim Donaghy, and use him as a patsy. It could very well be that Adam Silver is going to be like, yeah, he's the only one in this entire league that's betting on games because they're prohibited. They're absolutely nobody who works for the NBA or any NBA teams is allowed to take bets. Nobody is. Eric Lewis got in trouble for this last year in some ways. Well, he was on social media doing stuff. That's right. And that's what he got in trouble for. And he lost his job as a ref. Well, they're going to make an example of Jonte. If they have him dead to rights and he's guilty, he's going to become like the player Donaghy. And it's not going to be good. He'll be in infamy. It's such a shame because the kid really does have a really good bag and he's a pro. He can play in this league and he would have had. The dumb thing is this guy probably made, I don't know how much he made off these bets, or even if he did, he may be a patsy once again. He may just be a real big dumbass and he didn't realize what he was being involved in and what happened. I hope that in some ways he's found innocent in some sort of way and that he was manipulated in a way that this happened. I could see it being that way possibly because he does seem kind of stupid when you listen to him talk, that he could have been very gullible and he did something dumb because, or, who knows? All I know is organized crime obviously had the word out that this kind of thing was on, and they went and they abused it. That's really the thing that tipped off the gambling oversight people of the NBA. The amount of money that was bet on that particular prop was very not normal, and it really portended to a lot of people knowing some information and knowing to jump in there and put this very specific bet on him on 3-point shooting and under. So there was obviously some knowledge out there that this is the right thing to do, and people went crazy with it. Now, if that's something organic that just developed naturally and it just happened that way, I mean, they're going to have to figure this out. This is the minefield of folly you're bringing on yourself, Adam Silver. You're going to cause all kinds of different problems for your league and the whether it looks like it's on the up and up. And it is what it is. In some ways, the Raptors, once again, we're going to have to go get new players because we have a center that's out for a really weird reason this year. Really crazy. Really, really crazy. Yeah, Nameless, I think that this is a canary in the coal mine with the problems with gambling in sports, but I don't think the powers that be are going to look at it that way as it being unhealthy or not very good idea. They're going to probably scapegoat this guy and they can continue doing what they want to do because once again this is what's going to be the god to the people that are in charge of making these decisions is this money. And if the money is being made by the legal guys gambling, it's going to be more powerful on itself. And it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. And in some ways I hate that our team is getting broadcast as a guy was gambling on games. It's absolutely stupid, honestly. Stabby's here. Good to see Stabby stopping in and saying hi. It's been a little bit. Raptor Freak, salute. Salute to you, sir. What do you think about Jontay Porter's betting on games, possibly throwing games in his 14 minutes of play? You think that that's why he's shooting 38% from the field this year? I don't know his specific stats, Stabby, but I think that, if he's throwing the game, he's throwing it by saying, I need to get out of the game, coach. He didn't play any less than I felt like every time he played, Stabby, he was playing all out and he was playing really well. In some ways, he has to think about this if he really is a gambling mastermind. How about I just like really make it look like I'm playing hard, but if I get hurt, I have to leave early. Then nobody suspects me of like slouching or not playing hard or something like that. Because I had not detected him playing anything weird. The thing that was weird about him was how he was absent all the time, whether it was absent for a game ahead of time or whether it was leaving games in the middle of games. That was annoying. That was very annoying. When Bruce Brown, his thumb acted up at the beginning of the game and he was out for a second, I was like making dumb jokes online saying, yeah, I wonder if Bruce is doing some weird shit with parlays. In some ways, I want this to just go away, and I don't want to perpetuate jokes about gambling around our team, honestly. Stabby saying gambling will always be a huge part of sports. Too much money is involved. That's the thing I'm worried about, Stabby. And that's the thing that I worry about more and more as we go in the future, turning me off from wanting to watch anymore. And, this is such a weird situation, the one that started with us yesterday. This has just been such a crazy year. Such a crazy year. Trevor J is here. Commissioner J. Trevor J is the commissioner of fun for this channel, and he has commissioned the classic cosmic card of the day. Oh, yeah, we will open this up right now. Let's see what we get for the cosmic card of the day. 100 points to whoever can guess and identify the player on this cosmic card, the classic card, and you'll get 100 points added to your list. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one. Of course, I can't see my screen again today, so I don't know how I'm holding the card. I can only do my best to put it in front of y'all. Now, the first person that writes this in will get 100 points added to their score. So be ready to write, and I would say be ready quickly. Now, it's not the Laker in the picture, guys, just so you know. It's not the Lakers. So let's see who's going to get this one for me. All right, I'm going to try and hold it in the right spot. Can you see it on the camera? Let's see. What do you guys think this is? Who is this? This guy's actually pretty infamous, little nefarious. Paul Gasol is not right. There we go. I want the full name. You're being lazy. That's half-ass, y'all. Whoever writes the full name gets it first. Smooth's going to get it. I'm going to give it to Smooth. Yeah, that's no good. I'm not taking half-ass names, guys. So yeah, you got to put both names in there. All right. So yeah, you got it. It's Enes Kanter. You guys could have said Enes Freedom. That was also okay. This is him on OKC, Enes Kanter. Yeah, good job. I thought that you guys would get this one. He's kind of been in the limelight in nefarious ways. Of course, he's He's kind of like been fighting the power. The rule generally, Chris, is full name. This is my trivia rule for all trivia games that I do. I've said this many times. Don't half-ass me and put half the name. I know there's only one Cantor, but I've made that rule very clear, very, very clear, in the past. So I'm not going to give it to Chris. I'm told y'all I'm not taking half names, guys. I'm sorry. So I'll figure it out later, and I'll give the 100 points to whoever wrote the full name spelled right first. If you don't want me to give it to the person who spelled it with E-N-I-S. E-N-I-S is fine with me. But yeah, Cantor is it's not enough. I've always said full name. And don't assume that just the last name will get you the points in this game. You have to write their full name. That's just the damn rules. It always has been. Let's see. All right, Trevor's saying, good morning, Raptors family. What type of crazy news of Jontay Porter this season full of Army Nation to give all the toxic fans? What? I don't totally understand what you're saying. Army Nation? Trevor, you know what? Let's not think about that aspect of things. I mean, in some ways, this season is already kind of a wash and crazy and weird. If something like this is going to happen, a scandal like this, we could thank goodness that it's not happening in a season where we're actually trying to get in the playoffs right now, where we actually have a lot going on that we're trying to focus on. In some ways, getting this distraction of a story right now is kind of harmless considering the present goals of our team. In some ways, it's not that destructive as it could have been. Just imagine if we were like a 50-win team and we were fighting for like a top spot in the playoffs right now to get good playoff seeding. This could be a real problem. So in some ways, our situation right now, it's like, all right, this kind of bullshit is going to happen. I'm glad it happened now. If Jontay Porter is going to be a gambling degenerate and he's going to get in trouble at some point, I'm glad it happened now and not next, training camp or fucking halfway through the next season when everything's kind of going well. This is a good thing that this happened this way. In some ways, Trevor, if it's going to happen. Chris is saying Jontay has brought shame to the Raptors. If all of this is true, let's never speak of him again. Anyways, as I mentioned, lack of size killed us again. 50-30 in the rebound battle, unwinnable ratio. Yeah, this is completely true, Chris. They did dominate us down low once again, the other team. And this is by design. Let's not get this twisted. If we really wanted to get more size, we could find size at the G League and put them on two ways. But we are valuing auditioning guards. And we did see the debut of Kobe Simmons for the Raptors last night. I thought he was fantastic. Let me do my other two stars of the game. My second star of the game is actually Dennis Schroeder. I'm going to give Dennis Schroeder a star for the game last night because he was a Raptor this year. And I feel like he helped us last night. I want to say this about Dennis. Dennis, man, you've been such a great Raptor this year. You did such good stuff for us when you were actually playing for us. And then we traded you, and you still said you love Toronto. You wish you were still here, and that you like to circle back and be on our team still. This is all great stuff. And then you actually were on the team with the Nets when we beat y'all, and we got dinner with Darko because that was one of the games we needed to win to get 3 in a row, and you really helped with that. So thank you for not letting us win, but us winning in that game. And then, last night we wanted to lose. We needed to lose. And Dennis, thank you for Raptor killing us in the most humane way. A lot of former players come back and play the Raptors in Scotiabank Arena and kill us. And it's very awful. It's like, I hate this. Well, Dennis comes back and kills us on a night where we need a loss. And I'm thanking him. I'm saying, thank you, Dennis. You are my guy. You've been awesome to the Raptors all year long. And in beating us last night, you were helping us. Thank you, Dennis. In fact, I'm going to tell you how much Dennis helped us. Our percentage to keep to be in the top 6 and finish in the bottom 6 of the NBA has gone all the way up to 73%, y'all. We have a 73% chance now at this point. Isn't that crazy? It just keeps going up. It was like 43 days ago. It was 60 yesterday. Now it's 70%. 70% that we're going to stay in the spot we need to be to try and protect our pick from San Antonio. So that percentage is going up. Thank you, Dennis. He shot 7 for 15, 1 of 7 from 3, 4 of 4 from free throws, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers, and 19 points for Dennis Schroeder, the leading scorer, tied with Watford off the bench for the Nets last night. Dennis Schroeder is going to get a star, even though he's a net now. It's crazy. Third star of the game was Kobe Simmons, making his debut for the Raptors last night. I felt like Kobe came in and he played really well. I wish he had played more later. I'm really big on Kobe Simmons. I could get behind Kobe Simmons being in the NBA and being our third point guard before JFL. I'm going to say that right now. For some reason, when Kobe Simmons showed up on the court last night, he looked taller to me. Most of the time, guys come from the G League, they come into the NBA. I'm like, they look really small, and that's most of these guys that showed up, like DJ Carton, Jamias Ramsey. But no, Kobe looked taller to me all of a sudden, and man, was he quick. Last night, Kobe Simmons was showing such an excellent quickness. He was showing a really great anticipation of where the ball was going to go and getting in there and stealing it and just getting in the middle of things. He did really good last night. In fact, there was a really good steal that Kobe got, and there was a break that he initiated because of it, but it went to shit because Mo G fucked up a 3-on-2 fast break, and that pissed me off. But Kobe was awesome. Kobe was really good, and he played really well. He was efficient. 3 for 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, plus 1 with 7 points in 17 minutes. I just wanted to give him some shine for getting his debut. And honestly, man, he is so fast. Like, did you see how much ground Kobe Simmons covers like really quickly? He can get across the court fast. That's what Alvin was saying on that one steal, or where he came from was way over on the weak side. And Alvin was very impressed with Kobe Simmons doing that. This is the thing. Kobe's older. He's 26, and he's a little savvier. He's had a couple chances in the NBA already, and he really understands how important they are, and he doesn't want to fuck them up. So I was cool to see him out there. So those are my 3 stars for the game last night: Javon Freeman Liberty, Dennis Schroeder, and Kobe Simmons. I know it's a little weird for me to give a star to a net, but I feel like doing it. I just feel like doing it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, the big guys on the other side, Chris, were killing us. Sharp in particular. Sharp was really big on the Claxton, of course. Claxton with 16 rebounds himself. Yeah, those guys killed us. You're exactly right. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, you like to check the big man kind of factor. And well, we're not going to win it when Yak's out. That's for sure. And these guys did come in and mess us up. Clowney's got some good size. He got 6 rebounds. You know, they definitely outboarded us good, 50-30, and that's no good. There were a lot of second chance late in the game. Like when we were trying to, like, it was close and we had the opportunity in the fourth quarter. Well, there's a little bit of a period of time in the fourth where we can't convert ourselves on offense. And all of a sudden the other team's just getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound. It was actually kind of silly how much the Nets would miss and how many times they would keep getting shots. It seemed like the ball would rebound to the middle of the paint every single time, and nobody was there to get it around the Raptors. Like Matt and Alvin were saying, these guys need to find their man and just box them out, and they would be able to get the rebounds. But for some reason, the ball just kept falling in the middle, and the Nets, with their length, kept snatching up the loose balls and getting second chance. And there was a couple plays where they got like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds on the possession just to try until they actually made it. You know, there was bullshit like they made the first free throw. They missed the second free throw. It would fall off, and we wouldn't get the rebound secured as the defensive rebound, and they'd end up with a 3-pointer, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point possession. You know, there was some shit like that going on last night. But yeah, Clowney, Sharp, Claxton, issues for us because of their size for sure last night. That was definitely a huge factor last night. Let's see. Nameless is saying, now we see why officials manipulate outcomes of games for the same reasons that Jonte allegedly did. Yeah, I mean, honestly, everything about the NBA is suspicious at this point. It really, really is, because of the stupid ass betting. It's just the truth. Chris is saying that Nameless, the NBA has indeed turned into a joke. Very sad stuff. There is good basketball played, but the money has ruined it. Adam Silver, wake up. This guy knows what he's done, driven by greed. Yeah, whatever short gains or financial windfalls you're getting from this initial start of the gambling right now, is it going to be really worth it in the end? There's all kinds of fallout that you're just not responsibly thinking about. This is true about a lot of big companies that just want to make profits. They don't think about the implications of all the things they do, whether it's a big company that manufactures something and pollutes our rivers, whether it's people like Amazon that just overworks their people and doesn't give them any breaks and is really just like a taskmaster to things. There's all kinds of fallout. There's you know, this is going to be a fallout of a youth generation that will not be able to disassociate sports without gambling being involved in it. That you really want to ruin sports for the young people, you go ahead, Adam Silver. You go ahead, Bet Rivers and your bullshit. You are doing that. You are currently doing that right now. And so many of us can see it. Some of us hate it. The players, the coaches, the analysts, they all hate this shit. The fans hate this shit, a lot of them too. There's a very particular group of degenerates that love it and defend it. But in some ways, they're defending it just like an alcoholic would defend their alcohol that destroys their life. And I just think that it's insidious. And you know what, Adam Silver, you can get what you get. And in the long run, your legacy will be tarnished by this whole period of time because everybody will realize just how you fucked up the NBA just to make a quick buck. But it wasn't really a sustainable idea or a sustainable system to allow for the integrity of your game in the future. You dumbass. Really, really stupid. Really, really stupid, Adam Silver. You're selling out the whole sport of the NBA. And we're all sad and sick about it, honestly. Sad and sick about it. Yeah, Chris is saying at Nameless, the NBA has indeed turned into. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Nameless saying, Jonte is not the first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he isn't. But because he's a Raptor, they're going to put it on blast because, you know what? In some ways, this is dual edged, like what they can do. This will hurt the Raptors brand. The Raptors brand is valued at a certain amount of billion or whatever, how much money it is. And, this is going to make the stock go down for how much our franchise is worth. The franchise went up in a lot of worth because of the championship. The franchise is the most valuable franchise in Canada out of all the sports. And in some ways, Hockey Canada don't like that. So they're eating this up. They're going to put this all over TSN and run this like crazy to try and make NBA and Raptors look bad for hockey heads and general sports fans in Canada. This is really bad. There really is a full force contingency out there to hurt basketball in Canada growing. There's people out there that just can't stand the idea of basketball getting more popular, more young people playing it, that more things are happening. And on Friday, I'm going to talk about this a lot because I have a Friday freak out this week that is burning inside of me that I'm going to have to get out. And when I talk about it on Friday, I will scare some of y'all, but I'm going to go off and I'm going to tell y'all why we should not be worried. But there is something that is very dangerous coming up for basketball in Canada that I will need to talk about on Friday. I'm going to save it for then. I don't want to talk about it now. Jonte's the big story, so we'll talk about that right now instead. But yeah, this is messed up. This is messed up. This is not the first one. This is not going to be the last one. And honestly, I feel like there was a first one. They hushed it. I have to wonder about this because this is the league of tiers and stratification for certain teams in the league. And some teams are not the haves and the have-nots, I wonder if there may have been already a scandal with one of the major teams, like let's say the Lakers or the Celtics. If somebody on their team did it, they probably try and brush it under the rug or do something like that. I think it's because it's us. They'll put it on broadcast and they'll put it all over the place. I got to wonder that. If like this had happened to LeBron and the Lakers, how would they have dealt with this? Would Adam Silver hide it? Would Adam Silver protect the Lakers brand? Like seriously, in some ways, I don't trust this league to treating all the teams equally and fair. And has there been a player before Jonte that's been in trouble for this that did not get the publicity about this? I don't trust the NBA. This probably has happened. And internally, they dealt with it. That could very well be true right there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. How deep does the rabbit hole go? We'll have to find out, Nameless. We're just along for the ride. We just got to see what's happening. Dana's saying, good morning, everyone. My 2-finger salute goes to Brooklyn for almost giving us that win. Dana, I love that. I'm gonna give you a dunk. That is hilarious. She's giving them the salute. I'm gonna give you a dunk. You're at 10. DeMar DeRozan 10. Because honestly, she wanted to lose, and these guys were almost turkeys enough to allow us to win. In some ways, I was kind of wanting to win last night. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, because we were up by 1, I was like, man, we need to just win this game. Streak bust our own streak. Forget about busting their streak, losing streak. Let's streak bust our own streak. And just put a little break in the middle of all the losing. Because honestly, if we're going to lose all the way out, it is going to be a record losing streak for us. It'll be one of the worst ones ever. In some ways, I don't care. If we're going to be bad, we might as well be as good as we can be at what we are. And we're being bad right now. So let's be as good as bad. We did do a highlight of an amazing thing happened last night. We actually broke our franchise record in assists last night. 2,086 total assists for this season. Of course, we're not done. We're going to keep playing. We have one more assist than our championship year right now this season. A lot of out-of-pocket people on social media saying, who cares? They're empty assists. We've lost. No, this is actually a really big deal, casual take, fuck faces. Yeah, you don't understand this. This is actually a huge deal. that we've made our franchise record in assists this season. You know why? Because listen, this is the bottom floor with Darko. This is the worst case scenario. When we get back next year, he's probably going to beat this record next year with better health and the better players healthy for the whole year. Yeah, Scott's healthy the whole year. Yeah, we're going to break that record again next year. So we're just setting the new standard of assists that we're going to be getting more and more every year. And once again, any idiot that said, oh, these assists don't matter because our wins and our win percentage, no, they do matter. And I'll remind you why. Because every single time we got one of those assists, they sent money to Sick Kids Hospital. And that's why those assists really mean a lot, that we got our franchise assist record as a team. We passed the team that was the leader before that, our championship team of 2019. So that is a big deal. That is a very big accolade. And in some ways, people need to give shine to it and not poo-poo it. You can go ahead and say, oh, well, who cares if we got all these assists with our record and the way this year has gone? No, that's a huge accomplishment. And you guys got to understand why it is. Because last year, Nick Nurse had the exact opposite philosophy with his offense. He said no assists, no passing, no turnovers. And, well, Darko changed the culture of our team this year that quickly so that we broke the franchise record for assists in a year. I mean, people don't understand that, and they want to look at it in negative ways. I can't help you, but it's a really positive thing. And next year, I expect us to break the record again. Let's just say that. Yeah. All right. And Dana's saying, let's talk about Jonte pulling a literal Fred VanVleet and betting on himself. This is not what Fred meant, Jonte. When you bet on yourself, you're supposed to bet on yourself to do better. Not worse, man. What? Why? Why would you do that? That makes me lose, like, man, a lot of respect for you. Like, I would be okay if you were betting on yourself to do really good and you were high achieving and doing it. That would be different. In some ways, that's still cheating and it's wrong. But at least you're the right way. Like, oh, bet on yourself to do well. Why are you fucking betting yourself to do bad? That's a loser thing to do. It's such a loser thing to do. And then leave the game early. Oh, my gosh, Jonte. Why are you fucking with your NBA career like this? Name is saying Jonte took Fred's motto, bet on yourself to a whole new level. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have Pete Rosed yourself, you dumbass. I mean, this is really bad. James is saying, I don't see Jonte playing on the Raps again. I don't either. That's the sad thing. And it's a weird thing because I've had this feeling already this year of loss with Koloko, that this is like just a center bookends of this whole fucking season of just disappointment. You know, I feel like we get good centers. We've had such a problem with centers in the last 5 years. Since Mark and Serge and this Tampa season, fucking around with Alex Len and Aaron Baines. We really wanted good centers. Freddie Gillespie, Kem Birch. You know, we go through all the people we've had at center lately, and we finally get some good people. I'm glad we got Jakob locked down. I'm glad we got Kelly locked down because our young centers are just dropping weird reasons left and right. Well, there's a mysterious blood clot injury with Koloko at the beginning of the year, and now this betting scandal with fucking Jonte. What the fuck, man? It's so bad. It is so bad. So bad. Trevor's saying they're saying Jonte Porter bets paid out the most money on any given night. That's how he got caught. Yeah, it's very suspicious. It's very, very suspicious because it's a lot of money. Like, it's the highest payout of all the bets of the night. And that watchdogs do that. They look at aberrations. They look at anything that's a little suspicious, and then they wonder. And then they also look at the situation. And the problem is he kind of incriminates himself because there's very specific games where this happened. And in both those games, he left the game early. And that's where they're really investigating. They want to know the reason why Jonte left. And he really has to have good documentation and reasoning for why he left. Now, I know one of them was because of his eye or something. The first time, I think it was because, he got poked in the eye and he's like, I got to leave. You know, Darko's saying that I just listen to my players, and if they say they got to leave the game, I'll let them go. That's weird to me. So, like, players, if they're just kind of being half-assed in their life, they're like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to play again for the rest of the game. They go sit in the back. Like, what is that? I don't totally understand that. It's kind of a weird situation in general. Very, very weird situation. James is saying Javon Freeman could be on the squad next year as our backup guard. Yeah, I'm not big on this. I will continue to not be encouraging this because in some ways there were times, all right, where Javon looked absolutely great last night, but there also were times, once again, where he looks like he doesn't belong in the NBA. And the part of it is, like, I will say this. Some of the stuff that Javon does near the basket to score is not working in the NBA. And then that means his three needs to go in. And there was been a lot of talk in the last day or so about mid-range. We talked about it a little bit yesterday and how Darko doesn't value the mid-range. Well, that's another area where Javon does well. I don't know. In some ways, I just don't see why we should continue to use him. In some ways, I could see him being just as disappointing as Malachi in the years to come. So I don't want to give him a contract or anything. I just see the same kind of stuff. It's like he's a hooper, and hoopers are hoopers. In some ways, hoopers belong on the blacktop with the kids in the street. They don't belong on the NBA playing with professionals. Hoopers are hoopers. In some ways, hoopers need to be on N1 mixtapes. They need to be out there playing in certain other locales. In some ways, you don't play professionally. You don't play like a professional in certain ways. I don't think you should be totally in the NBA. And in some ways, Javon's in that category to me. He's a hooper. Sure, I love scorers. I love just guys that you go down the court and you're playing and this guy just fills it up. And he runs up and down. You can't stop him. But in some ways, that doesn't always translate to what is good for the NBA and helping you build a championship team. And I don't feel like he's a good puzzle piece for a championship team. So I don't endorse us going forward with Javon Freeman Liberty. I much rather go forward with Jahmias Ramsey. I'd much rather go forward with Kobe Simmons. I feel like both of them have a better shot at a better NBA career than Freeman Liberty. Honestly, I really do. Let's see. Jimmy saying whole Jonte situation is crazy. Yeah, Jimmy, I don't know how to spin this positively. Pope of positivity. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm saying, well, we got this happening. We hopefully never happen to the Raptors team ever again. It's really ridiculous and stupid. Really stupid. Kareem saying the Raptors took a chance on me being undrafted. I knew I had to showcase my talents every way possible. I had to bet on myself. And that's what I told Jonte when he asked for advice, Fred VanVleet. Yeah, it's stupid. Kareem saying, listen, we all know sports betting is a sickness and an addiction. That said, how the fuck do you bet the under on yourself? Like, where is your pride? Where's your competitive spirit? I know that's really disappointing and crazy. Anyways, over under Jonte gets cut before the end of the season. Well, it's on the process of the investigation. And we're not going to cut him because it'll show guilt. That's usually why you don't do that. It's kind of like why we didn't fire Azotam right away. It's like in some ways, oh, we fire Azotam. That's ammunition for the other side to say, well, why did you fire him then? As if he didn't do anything wrong. In some ways, that's something we got to kind of tread lightly around with him. I love that some people are already speculating who should get his spot, like the two-way, like who we should convert or do, or who we should get, because we are probably going to have to do that before the end of the season. There will be another tryout for somebody. Who knows? Maybe Justice Winslow will get another chance to come up. It is his birthday, y'all. Happy birthday to Justice Winslow. He is what is he today? How old is he today? He was born in 96, so he's let's see, 2006, 2016. He's 28, I believe. He's 28 years old today. Justice Winslow, 28 years old. Happy birthday. And you're not playing today, but the 905 are playing in the morning tomorrow against the Motor City Pistons or Motor City, whatever they are. And that's a kids game. It's a schoolyard game, 11 a.m. start tomorrow morning. I'll have the preview and the refs for the 905 game in the morning tomorrow, school game. And then the Raptors against the Knicks tomorrow night, previewing that. And it's also today, guys, the birthday of Wayne Embry. Wayne Embry has the fellowship with our team, and he does the Wayne Embry scholarship. And they found a lot of good people through this program year after year of young people that have the initiative to come in and work with the Raptors and get a chance to get their foot in the door. So I love the Wayne and Teresa Embry fellowship. I don't know, internship, I guess. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, Wayne is getting up there. Let's just put it that way. He will be, I believe he's going to be 87 today. 87 years old for Wayne Embry. And Justice Winslow, happy birthday. Happy birthday to our guys. Maybe Justice gets that two-way from Jonte, and maybe he comes up and he gets some more burn on the Raptors level. He never actually got in a game in that 10-day contract. When he came up, he just kind of sat on the bench and hung around. Well, Justice, maybe you'll get another chance at this point. In my eyes, either you or Kevin O'Banner are the next to get chances from the 905. I don't know if they'll get somebody from the outside. They might do that. But I think it'll probably either be you or a banner that gets their name called now. Now that Jonte's so disappointing and stupid. Just dumb, 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 dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Let's see. Chris is saying at Kareem, it's just easier to bet the under on yourself. Sad case. If true, Jonte is perhaps the biggest loser to ever don the jersey. It's such a crazy story. It is such a crazy story. Like, how the hell did we get from to this point today when we were last week just singing his praises? I really felt good about him in a unit with our guys, and he was somebody I wanted to have on this team for like years to come. Well, now, in some ways, even if he's innocent, his life's ruined. This is just how things work like this. I know some people have talked about Vince McMahon recently and his scandal with all this, the weird shit that he did with this young woman. And, some people are saying, like, well, what if she's lying or what if she's doing? And I know that some people in this chat have said people will lie and make accusations and they can ruin lives. And I agree that does happen. But, even if Vince McMahon is absolutely guilty, there's no going back from the allegations being out there and his reputation being completely tarnished. He is probably guilty. I'm going to say that. Vince is probably very, very guilty, and it's all very justified what's happened to him now. But it could very well be that Jonte is not guilty. And the damage of this happening the way it did yesterday is going to destroy his life already. Like, his life has been destroyed in some ways right now. And it's sad and it sucks. It sucks. It's not a personal reason he's out. He's out because he's suspended. And that's what ESPN put on there in the injury report yesterday before the game. They put a big SUSP next to his name, suspended. So on the down low, he may be suspended and we don't even know it already by the NBA. But that's what they put on the ESPN injury tracker. So crazy. It is crazy. So crazy. Biggest loser to ever don the jersey. Yeah, he's going to be on that list if it's like this for sure. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam. Nothing to say about the loss. I guess thank you, Dennis. Yeah, thank you, Dennis. You're awesome. A little bit of talking trash, a little bit of fun. You saw him going at Grady Dick. That was pretty fun. Of course, it's got to be kind of fun for Dennis to come back to Toronto. And, he's doing a really good job with the Nets. I see the leadership he's given for those young guys like Claxton and them. And, you know what? I'm proud of Dennis. I feel like, once again, like Darko said about Dennis before the game in the pregame interview, that he's proud of the time and work that he did with Dennis in his short time on the Raptors, that if he could have had him around longer, he would have. And that it's too bad how things work. But he's very proud of the early season work that we did when he first set up with Dennis, being the starting point guard, then going to backup point guard, and then being starting point guard again for a little bit. Dennis did everything we asked of him. He was a good pro. And I'm proud. He's proud of the stuff that they did this year. So I like that. I like that he said that, honestly. I really do. Let's see. But the Jonte news took me out. So disappointing. If it turns out he was involved, well, it's man, I don't even know how they investigate this. I don't trust Jonte to be smart enough to not get caught if he did do this. I feel like he's kind of stupid and not very smart in some ways, that he may screw this up. He may incriminate himself just while they're talking to him. Like, in some ways, if he just remember what happened at the beginning of the year. All right, this is something we need to remember. Remember the beginning of the year when Jonte did his initial interview when he first came to the Raptors, how he just spilled the beans, like he wouldn't shut up. I remember saying this after he did that. He was kind of like just going on and on and on, and he told way more about our plans and things that are going on. Now, if he has that nature to him, a confessional nature, he's fucked. They're gonna send somebody to him and they're gonna ask him the right questions, and he's gonna incriminate himself, even if he isn't guilty, because they do that these days. The police will incriminate you by asking certain questions, and you don't even realize it, and then they'll use it against you. That's why they really say stay silent and don't say nothing till your lawyer's there, because when they ask you questions when they're arresting you or you're in trouble, you say the wrong thing, they will use it against you. Yeah, they will use it against you in a court of law, as they say it when they say the Miranda Act. So it's a really bad situation all around. David's saying, yeah, Fiercely, never occurred to me that kid was a criminal. Seems like such a nice guy. No, nobody thought this guy was a criminal. This came out of left field. In some ways, you're like, not my team. My team would never gamble in the game. Well, this Jonte Porter guy might have. He might have. I don't know. Tom Duke saying, I do gamble, but never would bet against myself. Loser. Yeah, Tommy, do what you got to do. If you're responsible with it and you're not having any problems with it, do what you do. But yeah, I think every morning when I get up out of bed, I gamble. I just gamble that I'm living another life and live another day on this planet. That's what it is. They gamble with your life every day you get up. All right, let's do the score prediction game, and we'll run it down from the bottom. David, you lost. You were the worst score prediction last night. You were 38 points off the actual score. The score was 96 to 88 for the Nets, and you said 109 to 113 for the Raptors, and you were at the bottom of the standings for last night. Cowboy is the next one in, 36 points off. Tom and G were tied for 13th with 35. Three people got 33 off the points. Gerald, Nameless, and Trevor J. Eighth place with 31 points off the score. Edmund and Fiercey. Seventh, Seymour, the sheriff, was 27 points off the score. Sixth, Monique got 24 points off the score. The top five are Dana, Canadian Dana, 22 points off the score. Third place tied, Chris, MSJ, and Smooth Brown Man, both 21 points off. Second was Kareem, and I was number one. I was 10 points off the score. I said 99 to 95, and it was 96 to 88. And Kareem and I were both the only two people that put both scores under 100, and we got it paid off for that. And that's the whole reason why we won, is because in some ways I was forecasting that the Nets and the Raptors would both shoot very bad, and the score would be low. And I was right. By halftime, their halftime score was like under 50, I believe, of both teams. So it is what it is. I take the kudos of winning the score prediction for yesterday. Yeah, I got to have some integrity of showing that I do know what I'm talking about. That's funny. All right, let's see. MSJ saying JFL. Oh, wait. Let's see. JFL it could be a third guard, 10 minutes a game next year. Depends on Gary's contract, but I do like how Javon is able to play full court defense. He's quick enough, work on the three in the offseason. Yeah, he's got to be more consistent. The part of the reason that I don't like Javon Freeman Liberty, he's high volume. He's not efficient. You know, the part of the thing that made him look so good in the 905 was this really high scoring games, but he was taking almost all the shots. There's no place for him to take 90% of the shots on the Raptors. There never will be. So basically what he needs to be is like Malachi and not fail like Malachi. He has to be this guy who may come in, if he's going to be a part of our rotation, which Chris really wants, he's going to have to be able to come in for 5 minutes and play perfect basketball with no mistakes, absolutely any at all. If he can't do that, then we're just getting a new Malachi Flynn, honestly. I would say this right now and caution you guys that are really big on JFL. You want to go through more period of having like a Malachi Flynn on our bench. Well, that's what you're asking for, is what I'm going to say right now. That's what you're asking for. Let's see. Kareem saying, MSJ, I like the kid, but if you're betting the under on yourself and then basically removing yourself from the game, it's absolutely disgusting. I hope this isn't true, but if it is, I hope he never plays again. Yeah, I can get behind exactly what you're saying too, Kareem. Of course, we're going to be like Garrett Temple and assume innocence until proven guilty. The union will stand behind Jonte and protect him and try and do all their best to help him, because that's what that union does. And Garrett being on site, you know, I'm going to say demeanor of Garrett Temple in that interview talking about what happened was very shook. He was not pleased with it. He seems like he's worried. And he also kind of like really annoyed that this is kind of going on, that Jonte has let him down and that they're kind of a little in some ways. You could tell. Garrett was on the Raptors show yesterday again, and he was amazing. It's like weird. They had 2 shows in a row with him on because he was on Friday and they take the weekend off, not like me. And then they did him on the show again. And he said a lot of interesting things yesterday. He was talking about how in one of the games recently, Darko had not intended to put Garrett in the game. In the morning, he was not in the rotation listed that was going to get to play later. But in the middle of the game, Scotty said something to Darko, said, why don't you put Garrett in? And Darko listened to him, and he actually did put Garrett in the game. So that's a kind of interesting a little story that Scotty actually had influence on Darko to put Garrett in a game recently. That there was a game where he had no plans to play Garrett at all, but it was a blowout, not in our favor, obviously. And Scotty said, hey, Darko, why don't you just play Garrett? And he actually listened to Scotty and put him in. That's a very interesting thing to hear from Garrett yesterday. Of course, those appearances on the Raptors show, I want to say this to Will Liu and Blake Murphy. I've been very critical of you guys. And really, I'll come down on you guys if you're messing around with Raptor fandom. You try and disrespect our franchise because you guys cover our team. And your show is called The Raptor Show.
And recently, Will You Lou, you said some bullshit like this is called the Raptor Show, but it's not really the Raptor Show anymore because the Raptors suck and we're doing other sports too. Well, don't do that. That's disrespectful. In some ways, I'm watching y'all, and I don't want y'all to disrespect our franchise. And you got to understand your market, your audience, who you're trying to talk to is me. And in some ways, I want to commend you guys because I feel like y'all are doing actually good journalistic work right now. I feel like a lot of times when you're getting people on, you're getting good guests and you're also asking the right questions. And if anything, what I want y'all to do, Will Lou and Blake Murphy, is to get information out there for casuals to understand things better. Whether it's Matt Devlin and Alvin Williams educating the Raptors nation through the game on things like why things are the way they are in the game or things with the franchise or different stuff like that, that's great. Now, if there's questions about weird shit that's going on around the team, you guys are going and asking people like Garrett Temple, and Temple's telling you straight up. Like straight up yesterday, Garrett Temple said this on the Raptor Show. And I appreciate Blake Murphy and Will Lou for asking the questions that got this out of him. He said, nobody on this team, not the GM office, not the coach, none of the players are talking about we're losing on purpose right now. That it very much, a lot of the way that they look at what's happening right now as the players, Garrett said, is exactly how we look at it right now. That, as I've said many times on this channel in the last couple months, if you don't have the right amount of talent to compete and win the game, you're just not going to win. But you're practicing winning still because you're playing your best effort. You're getting out there and you're trying to play your best and just improve that day after day. That's where the difference is between losing culture and winning culture, is because right now we don't have enough talent on our team to get the wins converted, but we're practicing the right ways to do it. It's just that it's not going to add up without Scotty, RJ, Emmanuel, and Jakob in that lineup. And Garrett basically outlined that whole thing that I've been saying on this channel from his perspective on it. None of them are trying to lose. Nobody's trying to lose these games at all on purpose. And he reiterated that. And he hasn't heard Darko or any of the coaches say anything about, oh, we need to lose right now to protect the pick. Nobody's saying that on the inside. There's no kind of like, hey, we are all saying the same shit. We want to win. We're trying to win. Now, Garrett also said he's been on teams like this that have been on losing streaks like this in the past. And he would say this about the Raptors' current state right now, that this is the most upbeat and okay, like not okay with losing, but feeling all right considering all the losing going on right now. That in other places and other times when he's been on really bad losing streaks on other teams, maybe Washington, it's been very dark. And well, he's saying that, you know, the players on the Raptors really understand that this is just because of the injuries and just how we are right now, and they can really rationalize it, and they're not holding their heads. They're not feeling like, oh, we're doomed. This is going to be how we are forever. No, they realize Scotty's going to come back. They realize Jakob will be healthy again, and things will be way different when that happens. In fact, Javon said it in his interview after the game. We understand right now is the way it is right now, but next year we'll come back and we're going to win next year when everybody's healthy. And that's really where they are with this whole thing. They really, really is where they are. Very, very interesting stuff going on with the Raptors. It's crazy. It is crazy. Trevor J saying you do not shit where you eat. That is stealing from the boss and from stealing from the hands that feed you. Yeah, he said that last night. And I was like, you know what, Trevor? That is such an apropos saying right now is Jonte Porter, you don't shit where you eat. You know, it's kind of like a rule you should have when you're working. You shouldn't date people that you work with. It's usually a bad idea. It can be very toxic for the work environment. In some ways, you don't want to mix worlds. Ask George Costanza. This George is not liking this George. Be with this George. No, you don't want to do that, Jonte. Seriously. In some ways, like, this is what I'm worried about. There's going to be all these youngsters that come up that are just ignorant to the dangers and pitfalls of betting. And that, you know, they may need to take every young person that we look at the combine and say, let me look at your phone. Do you have a Bet Rivers app on there? And like, yeah, we can't go with this guy. He has a betting app on his phone. I'm not fucking going to even try him because he could be a Jonte Porter. You know, we may need to be like this with when we suss out new players to come to the Raptors. Let me see your phone. Do you have anything on there like Bet Rivers? Yeah, I'm sorry. We got to pass on you. Is this a difference between you and another player that's almost equitable in how good they are? Well, we're going to pick the guy who doesn't have the fucking betting app on his phone. I'll bet. Yeah. We got a tough decision between two people. Yeah, if you don't have the betting app, you know. But see, the young people, they may not even understand that this is a pitfall. and they may fall into it in dumb ways. I mean, I think about Ja Morant and the gun culture stuff that's been around him, hanging around him the last couple years. In some ways, it's easy for some of us older people to look at what's going on with him and be like, why the fuck are you such an idiot? What are you trying to do to your life? But he's in a bubble. He lives inside of it. In some ways, he may not be very conscious of how he's fucking up his career. And I feel like there are going to be young people that come up like that now. And it has to do with the betting. It has to do with the betting. They may be like so young. There may be a kid right now who's 6, and he may grow up through his preteens and his teens, and he's betting because it's normalized. And by the time he gets to the NBA, it's like, well, this is what I've been doing for 10 years already. You're going to tell me I can't do this now? Yeah, because you're fucking playing the league and you don't understand how that's a conflict of interest. You don't understand that? I mean, I'm really worried about this. I really am. There's going to be all kinds of long-term ramifications, if not the short-term ones, like what happened to our team yesterday. There's going to be all kinds of ramifications. Psychological addiction of kids coming up right away, ensconced in the gambling problem. Right away, and they're not even old enough to drink, and they've already got addictions. Kareem saying, and if you do shit, make sure you wash your hands, Trevor. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's never a good idea to go against the rule. Trevor is saying here, you do not shit where you eat. You eat bacteria and you get sick and you die when that happens. I mean, literally, if you do what I'm saying. Fiercely saying, yep, David, looks can be deceiving. Betting to be mediocre is wild to me. And you don't deserve a spot in any roster. The objective is to win. Unless he goes to sub 200 teams, he'll fit right in. Yeah, no, he's tainted at this point. This is the thing. Even if he's not guilty, in some ways they're going to circle back and make sure he's not doing shit, even if he's not going to get a chance to. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're going to Donaghy the hell out of him. They're going to Donaghy the hell out of him, and he's going to be just as disgraced as him. In fact, this may be a documentary at some point, and they'll do a whole thing on this. You know, that we'll find out the story at some point. I mean, it's of interest, and I could see it happening. Yeah. Wash those motherfucking hands real good. Yeah. Yeah. Fiercely saying, too bad the open gym episode also showcased JFL. I would have removed it from our social media account. Embarrassing. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably still up. Y'all were joking that they're going to take it down, but I don't think they will. They probably will leave it up still, at least for now. I mean, it's so short, and it really is half Jonte and half Javon. It's a travesty to Javon if they take it down just because of Jonte Porter's misstep and stupidity. And so I don't think they will take it down. You guys probably go check, and it's probably still up. And, it is just weird. I mean, once again, Darko's dealing with so many curveballs, so many weird ass shit things happening to him that it's like, holy crap, this guy's on his toes. And if anything, once again, I'll say this, and they say it on the broadcast last night, again, the consistency of Darko has been a strength this whole entire year. There's so many different ups and downs, so many different players he's coached. In fact, we have had the most players play for the Raptors this season out of any of the seasons in the history of the Raptors, even more than the Tampa season. Even more than expansion years where we had a lot of different guys falling in and out of the purple dinosaur jersey like 25 years ago. It's crazy that we've had the most players play on our team this year ever in the whole history of the Raptors franchise. And that just is a testament to the steady consistency of Darko Rajakovic as a coach. That's a huge strength. It's a huge, huge strength. And in some ways, he's getting tested in weird ways that are not necessarily win-loss or playoffs or anything. It's just how to manage and run a team and keep that consistent feeling around it when there is so much going on that's so crazy all around you. Really crazy. Really, really crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Nako's saying, I'm pretty impressed with the defensive effort. I would say this too. I mean, the problems with the Raptors last night at times were not defense. There was a really good group out there a couple times where they really were on it. Like in some ways it coincided with Kobe being out there. In some ways, Oshai is a big part of it. Oshai is a big part of it because once again, we saw Oshai go and get a crazy ass block. And he came from another spot and he came and got it. And I'm really digging Oshai. He wasn't one of my stars of the game, but I thought he was great. Let's just go through the Raptors on the box score real quick. Kelly Olynyk, 4 of 9 from the field. He missed all 3 of his threes. He played very ugly last night. He got called out for his little dragging the pivot foot a couple times. Those were travels. Those were fair calls. Not anything weird. In fact, I was really impressed with the refs last night. I felt like Kevin Scott was very fair. Michael Smith, once again, a great old head ref. There's no nonsense. He gets it right. You know, the backcourt on Dennis is a good symbol of that. You saw that backcourt that Dennis did at the end where he kind of hovered over the half court line, and Michael Simmons is like turnover. And Dennis got mad. Dennis was like, "What do you mean backcourt? What do you mean backcourt?" He's like, "Yeah, turnover." And I love you, Michael Smith, for that old head call on that one. Brandon Adair, obviously a great rep for the Raptors. We see him trying to steal a possession for us early in the game. It was obviously off the Raptors, but Brandon's pointing for the Raptors going down the court, and Kevin Ollie ain't having it. He calls his first challenge within the first 5 minutes of game just to save possession off a really bad call by Adair. But I was all about the call by Adair. I was like, yeah, Brandon, go ahead. Let's go, Brandon. Go ahead and get that call really wrong and give the ball to the Raptors right away. Because I saw it like that. And then there was some other weird situations where Kobe Simmons hit the ball out and he said it was out on him, but Kelly tried to act like it was Raptors ball, and he stood in the corner and he's like, yeah, give me the ball. I want to inbounds it. That's the kind of stuff I love about Kelly. He may drag his pivot foot. He may look ugly as hell. He may be really tied down to the ground by gravity. But, man, Kelly is a savvy player. In some ways, I don't want him taking so many crazy shots. Dude, you're not Olajuwon. Stop doing all your little spins. In some ways, you are dragging your pivot foot, and they called you for it twice. You had 2 turnovers because of that. But 10 points in 30 minutes for Kelly Olynyk, 9 assists. Once again, he's assisting like crazy. In some ways, I don't like he's not getting Grady enough. In some ways, I feel like there's a couple times where he could give it back to Grady, and he's not doing it. But I feel like Kelly's patient when he's the hub, and he's standing at the top, and he's kind of got people running around him. He fakes passes often, but then he does really launch it really quick. And usually when he launches it, that guy's getting an open shot right away. And, well, Kelly, your assist numbers have been excellent the last 2 games. 19 assists in the last 2 games. And he's a big reason of part of the why we broke our franchise assist record last night. So, yes, 1 steal and 1 block, 4 turnovers. That's no good. Yeah, Kelly, I can't give you a star of the game when you're getting turnovers and your game is just ugly. It was a very ugly game. I kept saying last night, I can't wait for Kelly to be our backup center again, because that's the perfect role for him. He should not be the starting center. The backup center is great. Jakob, we need you back. Get that pinky fixed. Gary Trent was actually really good last night. I did consider giving him a star last night, but he wasn't as efficient as I would have liked with his shot. 7 of 17, 2 of 7 from 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 18 points for Gary. Yeah, he wasn't bad. I can't complain about him. I won't say he was bad at all, but I'm also going to say I expect more from Gary. And once again, he got 30 points in the last game. Well, he didn't get to 20 in this one. And the consistency is what I'm watching with him. Ochai Agbaji, 5 of 11, 1 of 2 from 3. Those threes, when they come and they go down more and more in the future, Agbaji's value goes up. And honestly, his value really is on the defensive end. The strength, the way he's going in there and fighting guys as a littler guy in there is admirable. He is amazing. Honestly, the stuff he's doing with guys that are like 5 or 6 inches taller than him is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I really like Agbaji. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, a -10 with 11 points. You know, if you just get his scoring up a little bit, as long as you're consistent when you shoot, you don't have to shoot a lot. Just fill in some extra scoring around it and play the way you play normally. Agbaji, I'm not complaining. You're awesome. Grady Dick, not the best game last night shooting. He was 3 of 11, 0 of 5 from 3. He did not make a 3 last night, which is not normal for Grady these days. You know, Grady makes a certain amount of threes before the end of the season. He goes really high up on the rookie list for most threes made in a season. He goes to like 3rd or something. So this is a big deal, Grady. Get your shot to go in. Dial in. Because in some ways your shot was off last night. But you know what? Just because his shot was off, it wasn't like Grady wasn't contributing. He was doing a lot of good stuff out there. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Only 8 points for Grady, but he was a +6. That has to say something, that he was a plus. Mogi, not bad, 1 of 3. He was more reined in. He wasn't absolutely horrible. You know, no turnovers. He didn't miss any free throws. So I'm happy with what Mohamedou did last night. It's been weird. He's kind of, his last 3 games have been the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, you know, I feel like there was a very ugly game a little while ago. This was It wasn't like super good. I feel like the last game he was really good with the block and the dunk. And, yeah, I feel like he's developing. He's getting better. I hate that he's our backup center right now, Jonte, you dumbass. Because, honestly, he's not a backup center. And that's part of where we got beat last night. Is in the periods of time when that lineup was out there with Mohamedou at 5, that's no good. And they're joking around. Garrett Temple playing 5. They were talking about it on the Raptors show yesterday. It's like Garrett said he has not played center since he was in elementary school. That the last time he played center, other than recently for the Raptors, I'm talking about that's a long time. The man's been in the league for like 17 years, and he has not played center since he was in elementary school. Well, he hadn't forgot how to do it, and that's the amazing thing about a pro like Garrett Temple. He can go out there and play a relatively good defensive center, even at his height and his body type. He still does pretty good. It's crazy. So yeah, Garrett, very versatile and playing any position right now. And they're asking him to guard centers right now. 1 of 2 for Garrett. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 points in 16 minutes. I love the assists. He got a lot of good assists. He was a +4. He was in the plus also. So him and Grady, the only plus players. Oh, and Kobe was plus too. So Kobe, Grady, and Garrett plus. Bruce Brown, it seemed like he wasn't going to play at first, but then he did come back out there and his thumb was fine. He's dubious. Everything he does out there, I don't trust. You know, he had a really key turnover near the end of the game that kind of threw us off for winning the game. And it's very fishy. It's fishy. In some ways, we got a lot of suspicion right now because of Jonte. And then Bruce Brown, I'm suspicious of your intents. 4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 10 points for Bruce Brown Jr. Yeah, in some ways, it's like, ugh. You know, he did play a lot of minutes by the end. It came in late, and then they made up his minutes, so he's just out there for a long period of time. He's a mixed bag. In some ways, I can see where he's good for a team, but he's not good for our team. I in particular, I think. Jordan Nwora, 20 minutes, 2 of 7 from the field. He missed all 3 of his threes, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 5 points. And as I said, Kobe Simmons before. Yeah, not a bad effort in defensively by the Raptors. I'll agree with this, Gerald. I felt like the defense at times for the Raptors was really good, really stifling, really like didn't allow the Nets to do stuff. Really, the key was the Raptors could afford to stay at home and play everybody one-on-one. That the Nets aren't too super talented, that there's not some superstar where you have to really demands a double. So Darko's philosophy playing the Nets last night was very stay at home and just guard your one guy, keep track of them and go. And we did really well at that. That's part of the reason why the defense looked good, because our matchups were actually really good in some ways to stop them individually, and who we paired the 5 with the 5 from them. So that was a big key of it right there, was playing man to man and not zone and really keeping track of your guy. Let's see. Trevor's saying that episode will be locked away forever in a dungeon. Maybe it's acrimonious. That's for sure. David saying, anyone want a little extra cheddar? You talking about this? Yeah, that's what Jonte wanted, apparently. Chris is saying Prince Harry named in P. Diddy lawsuit, in the words of Queen Victoria, man alive. Laugh out loud. I don't, you know what, in some ways, you know what, anything to do with Diana or the redheaded child of her, I don't believe, because I'm going to say this right now. There's a very big contingency of people that hate Prince Harry. They hate him and his wife. And there's a lot of people that are going after him. Just like I was saying, there's people going after certain people. Well, this is one of them. In some ways, he's brought a lot of malignment to the royal family. He's a blemish. And there are active people out there that are very loyal people that will fucking try and destroy them. It's the same thing as like the death of his mother is very dubious. In some ways, she made the family look bad. Well, she had to pay with her life in some ways. I really do believe that. And well, I would caution anything about Harry. Any of the news that comes out about Harry and his wife is bullshit, because there's a huge contingency of people out there that are trying to destroy them because they hate them because of the way he's turned his back on the royal family. So I don't know. I'm not going to believe that at first. In fact, a lot of this stuff that happens with these islands and Epstein, and we've kind of talked about this recently, a lot of it's hot air, honestly. A lot of it's hot air. So I don't know this P. Diddy thing you keep bringing up. So in some ways, I'm not interested in this. This sounds like tabloid extra and Entertainment Tonight bullshit. And it's not my realm. I'll do the theme song, though. Entertainment Tonight, P. Diddy and Prince Harry in hot water. Oh, there's the island of sex and more sex. Yeah. All right. Okay. That's what it is. Nako saying Michael Porter Jr. is kind of slimy off the court. You know, I get the vibe of what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. The whole sliminess you're saying. You know, I just think that these guys aren't as smart as we thought in some ways. I don't know. I've always wondered who's the younger and older Porter brother, because Michael's older than Jonte, but in some ways, Jonte seems like the older brother, right? Doesn't it seem like Jonte's the older brother, but he's actually the younger brother? I was confused too, because I thought he actually was. Yeah. Let's see. G saying, quick, someone get Jonte a translator. Yeah, you're making an Otani reference. All right, G, I'll give you a dunk for that. You're making an Otani reference. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Otani is the one who's in trouble, the lightning rod in that sport, and Jonte is in ours. I think I don't know what happened with Otani. I'm not really looked at the details of the whole issue. Like his translator was putting bets or something. Otani's come out and said he's very clean and he has nothing to do with bets and he never tell anybody. In some ways, maybe people are mad at Otani for like the whole bullshit that happened this offseason with his decision to go to the Dodgers. Maybe some people saw the way he's putting off his payments in his career to help the Dodgers do things with their team. And they're like, that's not fair. And, there's people out there that will try and take you down. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether it's what I was just talking about, taking down Prince Harry, whether it's taking down Otani, whether it's taking down the Raptors as an organization. There's forces out there that want to take you down. If they see a weakness like Azotam or something like that, they're going to put it out there and they're going to try and fuck you up. So that's part of it right here. We got to realize this, that there's people out there that are shit disturbers that will reach for that thread and try and unravel things. And that's a part of what's going on right here. Tom Duke saying number 12 is going to be Precious's revenge game. You're talking about tomorrow night, Precious? I don't know. I mean, Steve, my friend Steve's got tickets to the game tomorrow. He's like, I'm going to go see OG play tomorrow. I was like, dude, you're not, because OG's not going to be playing probably. And I still stand on what I said to that Knicks fan and say, y'all don't rush OG back. Well, you see what's happened. And that you don't even have him now in some points. You should have just waited another week before, and you wouldn't have the second period of time where OG's out injured right now, Knicks fans. It is what it is. Y'all are too impatient. Y'all pushed, and you're like, I want to know what's going on with the OG. Stop doing that. Don't bother Fred Katz on Twitter saying, when's OG coming? When's OG come back? You're putting too much undue pressure on it, and you're not going to get what you want. You're going to mess things up again. Every single time y'all get ahead of yourself and say, OG needs to back. OG needs back. No, don't fucking do that. Just let him do what he's going to do on the schedule he needs to do it. And y'all are going to keep learning a bad lesson if you keep being impatient, Knicks Nation. So you need to fucking chill out and get off social media pushing for OG coming back so quickly. If he shows up and he plays 2 games before the playoffs and plays the playoffs for you healthy, would that be good enough? Because that may be what you need to do, is just chill. Don't let him play anymore for the rest of the season. Give him ramp-up games so get ready for the playoffs and just get over yourselves trying to get him back as soon as you can, because you're really not looking at the strategy right. The games that matter are the postseason. And if you want him back right now, you're going to be fools to overplay him now and get him hurt still. And we'll see. I'll have the preview tomorrow, Tommy. We'll see how it goes. Precious. I love Precious. But I don't know if he's going to do a revenge game on us. We'll have to see. Trevor's saying Indiana kicked the Clippers' butt last night. They had no answer to stop Pascal. That's what I heard. Pascalifornia was in effect last night. Pascalifornication. Yeah, we love Siakam. And any success that Siakam has on the Pacers is the success of Masai Ujiri, is what I'll say right there. G saying, I know, bad joke, but have to laugh through the Gong Show sometimes. No, I'm with you. It wasn't a bad joke. You got a dunk, G, so don't feel bad. Translator for China. Yeah. Chris is saying also, GFL is not Flynn. Do not be confused. No, they're a similar type player. They are, Chris. I mean, once again, we can agree to disagree. Now, what if this happens, Chris? What if we do invest in JFL and he's on our team next year and he's playing his Flynn role and he does Flynn things? I'm going to say I'm right. That's all I'm going to say right there. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say I'm right. He's going to come out and play 5 minutes. He's going to miss 3 shots, turn the ball over, and then I'll be like, yeah, why the fuck did we do this? I'm just saying. Fiercely saying, unrelated news, boat hit a major bridge in Baltimore, which collapsed with cars on the bridge searching for bodies. Prayers up. Oh, my gosh. All right, so we have some sort of crazy cataclysmic event. It's, I guess, kind of similar to kind of like 9/11 kind of stuff. That's awful. That is very, very awful. Well, you know what? You cut back on oversights. You cut back on protections. Maybe there's some job that got cut because there's supposed to be safety. You want to do those kind of shit? Well, tragedies happen. Whether it's a train fucking with chemicals spilling in Ohio and destroying the environment in that state, and people are getting health outcomes that are really disgusting and bad now at this point because of the irresponsibility of big corporations trying to cut corners and not paying for the right either infrastructure to upkeep it or to oversight it. I would say this, this could be an Exxon Valdez kind of bullshit, but how the fuck did a boat hit a bridge and how's it collapse today? There's somebody to blame. And I'm going to tell you right now, the system's probably to blame because of cutting costs. is probably the main culprit right now. So that's what I'm saying. You got to spend the money to protect the people. You don't, well, you're going to get unnecessary deaths in dumbass ways. Yeah. David's saying JFL's the GOAT. All right, guys. And Tom says Flynn is better than JFL. Oh, Tommy's on my side. He's on my side here. Snoopy's here. Good to see Snoopy. I hope things are good with you and Charlie Brown and everybody. I love you, Snoopy. Depending how bad this Toronto cheating scandal goes, do you see the Raptors having to sell the team? Does management need to be looked at for lack of accountability for players? No. And we were talking about this last night, Snoopy. Who the fuck is in trouble here? One person, an individual. The Raptors cannot control all their players to a degree. It's not that any of the officials of the Raptors, like Masai or Bobby or Darko or any of the coaches, had anything to do with this. It's Jonte's whole kit and caboodle on himself. So he's an individual punishment. In fact, I will say this right now, Snoopy. If the Raptors as a team get punished in any kind of way for Jonte, that is fucking wrong. It is wrong because the Raptors didn't do anything wrong. Jonte Porter did. And that's very important to distinguish that. That's a difference. In some ways, it's like, look, you can't punish the Raptors for this. One of the things we were worried about last night in the chat is, are they going to take a pick from us for this? I'm saying, why? How? What is the logic in them taking a draft pick from the Raptors for this? This is not tampering. This is not the us talking to a free agent before the free agency period opens, and that's something that they take a pick away from. No, this is a player that is on our team that we had no idea was doing this. And it's solely his responsibility, and he is the one who will get punished. If there is any blowback or on top of us in any kind of way, that's not right. And in some ways, we could very much say the league is against us because this is a good evidence of it. This is an individual who broke the rules. It's not the team that broke the rules. The team should not be punished. But if the team gets punished in some sort of weird, convoluted way, well, that just adds more ammunition to my argument that the NBA is fucking with the Raptors and is not a fair league. This is an individual crime. And if the team is punished in any way, it's going to be a really wrong thing. Now, you're going really far. You're saying the Raptors having to sell their team? See, I don't like that, Snoopy. You're a Raptor fan, right? You're not trying to envision bad things happening. Once again, I'll say, the almighty God dollar is going to save the Raptors from going anywhere. This is a cash cow, the city, and the way that it spends money on the team. It's not going anywhere. The Raptors are not in danger of having anything happen to them because the money's too good, Snoopy, is what I would say right there. Fiercely saying, and yes, JFL has shown great stuff, Lex. I hope you turn around and see how he can help the team. I want to see what y'all are saying, but I just understand the player type, and I understand that it doesn't add up to championship winning. There's not players like JFL that are normally on teams that win. In some ways, if you're that kind of player, you come into the league drafted at high in the pick, like Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace is a good example of comparing Javon Freeman Liberty. They're a similar size. Now, Cason Wallace was drafted after Grady Dick in the middle of the first round. Now, the thing is with Cason Wallace is he's already NBA ready, and he's playing at an NBA level for the Oklahoma City. Now, to be your height like Cason Wallace, you have to be a pick from the draft and have that path right on in. It is so hard if you're under 6'5" to make the league as a G Leaguer. That's just the damn truth. The people that make the league from the G League are the bigs. The little guys, that's the thing. The best little guys get drafted in the draft. In the NBA as a little guy, an undersized guy at your position, you're filtered out and found right away. You're drafted. You're one of the top 30 picks, or maybe in the second round at least. He's not any of that. The path for him to get there is just not realistic. And that's what I'm trying to say. You can go look at Cason Wallace and look at the bag of tricks that he has as a player, and there's way more shit there than what Javon Freeman Liberty is, whether it's way better hops and get up, a more steady three-point shot. That's what I'm trying to say. You've got to compare him to other guys that are his height and his kind of similar bag, and he is not enough. He is not enough. I'm going to tell you that right now. To survive in the league at that height, you have to have a supreme athleticism like Cason Wallace or Ja Morant or, those little guards that can do that kind of stuff like the classic Allen Iverson. Now, when he jumped up and did that dunk, I'm like, okay, that's eye-opening, but that's not what I'm looking for. That's flashy. In some ways, I want him to make better than 40% or 50% of his shots, and I just want him to not cause turnovers. In some ways, Alvin said it on the broadcast. This guy is not a point guard. This guy is a scorer. He's a hooper. And in some ways, a guy at his size and height can't be that first to make the NBA. And especially coming in not drafted and all that kind of stuff. He should have came in being more like Marquise Noel with his mindset. If he was more assist mindset and he was a really good passer and he was doing passes like Marquise Noel, he might be in the league. But because he's a guard that's undersized, that's a scorer, it's not a piece on a team that you want unless he's so undeniably such a good scorer. He just scores every time he goes down the court. He's a superstar, but he's not. He is not. And half his bag of tricks doesn't translate to the NBA because a lot of it's in the lane, in the land of giants. And well, you do that in the G League, it works. But when you do it in the league, Nicholas Claxton is there, JFL, and he blocks the shit out of your shot. And that happened last night. And that play right there is more indicative of JFL in the NBA than him like making the shots he made when he was open. You go to the basket, Nicholas Claxton's blocking you. That basket will go in the G League on the 905, but it won't there. It won't there. Is what I'm saying, guys. And y'all can all disagree with me. I'm going to stay on this hill. Seriously, he's going to have to do something really special and crazy by the end of the season to win me over, honestly. And that's not good enough last night. 15 points. That's not good enough. David's saying, sell the team? What on earth? Some kid bet on himself sucking. What's that got to do with the team? Exactly. It's an individual thing, and they got to punish him. The team gets punished, then the NBA's crooked. Smooth saying, good morning, all. If Jonte did what he did, he is being alleged, it's over for him. Over. Yeah, for sure. And not only that, disgraced and in infamy. He will be the player Donaghy, and that's not a good thing to be, honestly. G saying fiercely, no. Otani's translator got caught gambling. Otani's money and people are saying he was made the fall guy. Otani is saying he has never gambled, and that's probably true. Hence, it's a bad joke. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of accusations. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's trying to take him down a peg. And that's why there's a lot of bullshit going around. In some ways, we could say the same thing. Nako's saying, Lex, could we watch footage of PJ Hall? All right, Nako, you're the first one to request it. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to go look at PJ Hall first on his Wikipedia and give an overview of who he is. So Nako's got the scout of the day. PJ Hall is a Clemson Tiger. He's 22 years old. He's from Spartanburg. I know some people from Spartanburg, South Carolina. He is American. He's 6'10", and he weighs 238 pounds. And he's been at Clemson for just 1 year, it looks like. You know, it's an interesting phenomenon that's going to happen with the NIL, and they were talking about it last night. It may be in the interest of a lot of players to stay in college. And if the NIL is going to have this kind of effect on players staying in college and getting more education and staying there and being better players by the time they get the NBA, I'm all for it. I feel like people have rushed too much to come to the NBA just to get the money. Well, the money in some ways may be good in the college now at this point. So, you know, they don't want to leave. In fact, they can probably make more money staying in college than coming to the NBA at this point, which is crazy in some ways. But I like that effect. And in some ways, the NIL thing is a little worrisome for me. But if it's going to have a positive effect like this, that some of the young people will stay in college longer and get better schooling and be better fundamental players coming into the NBA, I'm all for it. Pay the hell out of them. Now, there is something that's interesting. Zach Edey is not allowed to do NIL because he's Canadian citizen, and he's on a work visa to play for Purdue. And in some ways, Canadians are exempt from earning money on NIL. That's really bad for Canada basketball in some ways. And it's also kind of bad for different things. In some ways, it's not fair. And it may make guys make weird decisions with their careers if they're Canadians. Now, this is a topic I'm going to talk about on Friday more. And I will talk about it later, but I don't want to go into it too much right now. All right, let's look at PJ Hall of Clemson, and he is playing against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in the clip that I'm gonna watch here. All right, let's see which guy is he? He's okay. He's that little. He's under the basket. All right, I see him. He's big. Okay, he's wearing the white and the orange of Clemson. He's posting up. He tried to post. They didn't find him there. Is he going to reset? Okay, he comes to the high post. He turns around, shoots with the guy right there, and he makes it. He's got a nice stroke. I like his length. There's a little bit about him, Gerald, that reminds me of Isaiah Hartenstein. Maybe it's the orange and blue on him, but, maybe he's not big enough. He's not as strong yet. He could fill out and get some more muscle. He's a little skinny. Ooh, he tried to attack the rim, but he got denied. And that's a very interesting. Oh, wait, is he the one who came in and cleaned it up? I can't totally tell who's which player. All right, he looks like the really big guy who's setting the pick. He screen and rolls. He has the three open. He takes it. He hits it. That's a nice little stroke. His shot looks a little bit like Robert Ory's three. All right, here he is in transition, dribbling. Like, this is interesting. Okay, he passes it to his guy. He kicks it back out, and he takes a fake, and he goes down the lane. A nice swoop and layup down the lane. He has nice length, a good wingspan. I'm worried about his strength, though. He's going to be somebody who's going to have to get in the weight room for sure because he definitely looks like he's not very strong, and he's not going to be NBA strong, especially at the 4 or the 5 with his height. Okay, there's a nice little put in close to the basket. Yeah, he's not horrible, PJ Hall. I mean, I do really like his wingspan, and it does look like he has a nice 3-point stroke. So, all right, let's see his post game. He takes his shoulder. That guy was smaller and he got blocked. That's not a very flattering highlight. He got blocked. They're showing his highlights, and I was like, oh, they showed a block of him getting blocked. Yeah, all right, here he is at the top. He's playing pick and roll with his point guard, and he gets the ball. He does a fake, and he likes to fake at the top of the key and then go down the lane. Oh, he kicked it back out again. Then he's doing it the exact same thing again, but this time he gets by, and he got blocked. I don't know. These highlights are not really looking good for him because in some ways they're showing his shitty highlights too. There's a nice little gutsy play up and under with the contact of the defender next to him. That's interesting. All right, I think I've seen enough. PJ Hall, nice wingspan. Maybe needs to fill out and get more muscle, but he doesn't look that bad, Nako. No, doesn't look that bad at all. Fiercey saying at Snoopy, I'm sure the Raptors are not the only team as players doing this. Jonte got caught. That's it. Weird season. But I believe everything happens for a reason. Next season, we start fresh. Yeah, let's get all this bullshit out of the way. As I said, if something like this is going to happen, better happen now in this season of crazy stupidity and not next season when things might be going really well. Yeah, I'm totally with that. Fiercely saying and drama free. That's right. Unions, shaking my head. No, David, unions are so important. And in this case, the union is there to protect Jonte, to make sure the due process of whether he's innocent or guilty is done appropriately and fairly. In some ways, you can get railroaded by your own companies if you're not in a union, and the representation is important. I stand with unions all around the world. I'm against union busters like Starbucks and Amazon, and I do not use their products because of their union busting tactics. And the same thing for Elon Musk. He's very anti-union also. Now, union, I've been a part of union at MLSE. I was a part of the Teamsters that was in food and beverage. And we actually striked and picketed at the Air Canada Center, Scotiabank Arena, 25 years ago. We would go on strike as the food and beverage workers of the arena. So this is important. In some ways, the union of the food and beverage people down there is very important for some of the older ladies who have been working for that team since the Maple Leafs were in Maple Leafs Gardens. There's some people that have been there forever, like Miss Sadie Campbell, my very, very good friend. In fact, on this union seniority list, I believe she's in the top 3 right now as one of the 3 most senior food and beverage employees. And she has worked at that arena for the Leafs since the 80s. So I just say this. Unions are important. They protect the worker against a big the employer. And, my grandmother used to tell me unions are horrible and say all this kind of stuff to me. I didn't believe her. And I believe my grandmother on a lot of things, but I didn't believe her on that one. G said, allegedly, Jonte bet against himself to technically he didn't follow Fred's motto. He bet against himself instead of bet on himself. But, I mean, he did bet on himself. I mean, he did technically bet on himself. Goku's here. Good to see Goku. This is interesting. We got some Dragon Ball Z here today. Woj has the right in order to keep his credibility. If Woj is reporting, it's probably true. Well, this is what I'm going to say, Goku, that he has a lot of credibility. He has a very important reputation. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, he wouldn't risk putting this shit out if it was untrue. It could really make him look bad. So that's why I'm really thinking this is probably true, that Jonte is guilty. I'm not trying to say Jonte isn't guilty. I don't know. I'm going to presume that he's innocent until they find out for sure. But it isn't a good sign when Adrian Wojnarowski and Brian Winders are putting their name on there and saying, yeah, we'll get in on this and we will not be worried about our reputation. Goku, I must say this once again. If your response is to what I said about Woj being a power broker in the NBA, well, in some ways it's unfair and it's fucked up. Because I'm going to say this once again. Both Shams and Woj have a lot of power to shape money for the players. They make trade rumors all the time, every day. And in some ways, they are not liked by a lot of the players because they understand how they can be bad for them personally and what they get paid on contracts. They speculate shit all the time. Sometimes they are not right, and it's very damaging. But if it's a trade speculation or rumor, that is something that they can get away with being wrong on because it's a rumor. It's a speculation. Now, this is something totally different. This is a charge. This is something that is very much happening in an investigation in the NBA. And that's why I believe him on this. But I will say that other aspect of what I just said can really, really hurt players. And in some ways, these guys are power brokers that you need to kiss their ass. And in some ways, that sucks. That's a really bad thing. And Woj is kind of toxic in some ways because he really is kind of messing with young men's livelihoods. And, that's not fair to them. There were some things that happened with OG and Pascal in the last couple of years with the trade rumors that were nefarious and fucked up. And in some ways, they were utilized and weaponized against the Raptors franchise. And sometimes it has to do with a Shams tweet last summer about Atlanta and Pascal going there and all this stuff, or saying stuff like Pascal won't go to another team. If they trade him, he will not re-sign with them and come back. That was a lie. That somebody put that out there. I think it was Jake Fisher. It could have been Jake Fisher. But I'm just saying, these guys are making up shit all the time, and they don't get in trouble for it. And they have a lot of power. And it's not a good thing in some ways. In some ways, it's informative and it's helpful for us to get the information. But at the same time, they can really destroy young men's lives. And if they don't do things responsibly, they could do it unjustly, is what I'm saying. David's got firecrackers going, and Smooth saying, I hope you're right, Lex. When the NBA gets involved, it's likely to be true. Based on what's out there, it doesn't look good at all. Well, like I said, I describe it this way: the way that Jonte is innocent is if it's just dumb luck and just kind of dumb coincidence that these betting games just happen to be games where he actually took himself out of the game also. Now, like I said, it's all going to be contingent on his reasoning and his proof to show them why he left the game. If he can really prove that, yeah, I was really hurt and I had to leave, he may be okay. But they're also going to check into all of his associates. Are going to check into everybody around him who may have put any kind of bets on any kind of things and see if any of them profited from it. And that could be part of it. If they can connect him directly to an account and say that he directly profited, he's fucked. He's cooked. He's cooked. He's absolutely cooked. Nako's saying, speaking as someone who worked at Amazon for a period of time, you need a union. I don't think it looks good for Jonte, but he deserves protection. Yeah, I mean, just imagine if he is unjustly accused right now. The union is his best ally to make sure that justice does come through, as far as saying, Justice's birthday. Yeah, to get justice, well, in some ways, you need the union to make sure, to safeguard him. And if the union can't help him, well, he's guilty, well, he's fucked. And that's just how it is. But the union needs to be there to save people. And Nako knows from working for Jeff Bezos at Amazon's warehouse out in Mississauga that a union is very important. Trust me. Snoopy saying, fiercely, how do we know other players, coaches, and front office aren't involved? Well, we just got to assume this, Snoopy. Why the fuck would they be involved? And why the fuck are you going in that direction, Snoopy? I don't want to give you a strike for unreasonable anti-Raptorness because I will, because this is unreasonable. Like, who the fuck? What do you think? Darko's coming up there and say, hey, Jonte, I'm going to take you out of the game in the middle of the game. We're going to win all those props. Yeah. You think he's fucking doing shit like that, Snoopy? What the fuck? Seriously, bro. Seriously, come on now. Don't be a pig pen. Don't like stinking up my stream with dumbass like questions like this. Seriously, what are you saying? Well, how do we know other people aren't involved? Who the fuck would be involved, Snoopy? Seriously, Coach Darko and all these say, are you trying to imply that there's a deeper investigation, that it's not just Jonte on this team? Well, we got to go talk to all the other Raptor players? Well, we got to fucking go talk to the trainers? What the fuck? This is a stupid ass question, Snoopy, and you're borderline getting a strike. You just watch out. Seriously. We have no idea how deep this cheating scandal runs. Full investigation is definitely needed. Okay, we'll go focus on Jonte Porter. And honestly, it has nothing to do with the rest of the team. Our team is smart. We're not stupid. Why the fuck will we make a dumb mistake like this? Jonte's dumb, obviously. He made the mistake. And you're going to find that it doesn't go anywhere else. Who the fuck are you? An NBA investigator, Snoopy? What the fuck, man? Seriously, I like your cartoons, but in some ways, your attitude today is pissing me off. Goku's saying there was too much money on the under in those games in question for this to be false. Yeah, I'm not saying that this isn't false. I'm not saying that Jonte didn't do this, Goku. You guys don't have to come in here and say, oh, this and shit. I fucking know this probably did happen. And, we're just talking about it today. Yeah. Let's see. David's saying, oh, yeah, it's like Tim Donaghy numbers. Yeah, something like that. Who knows? And Snoopy's saying Raptors dropped the ball, in my opinion. How? How the fuck did they drop the ball? Listen, seriously, Snoopy, you're pissing me off. Listen, let me ask you this. Do you think they dropped the ball with Christian Koloko? Like, seriously, think about that whole situation with Christian Koloko. They dropped the ball with Koloko. We did everything right with him. We just happened to have a health outcome. It's the same exact shit. It's just that Jonte has gambling addiction and Koloko has blood clots. This has nothing to do with the team. These are individual problems for these individual players. And it's not like Masai and Bobby, like, when they got him as a two-way, they're like, oh, they knew this shit. They had every intention. They didn't realize Jonte was a dumbass and they was doing stupid shit like this. I mean, Snoopy, really watch out. I will kick you out of this channel if you keep going anti-Raptors because you're sounding anti-Raptors. Raptors dropped the ball. How the fuck did they drop the ball? Seriously, Snoopy, think about this. If you can write in and explain to me how the Raptors dropped the ball on this, then fucking I'll listen to you. But otherwise, if anything, I'll say this. Maybe they had a blind spot to not understanding that the gambling problem is a problem already. That would, I say, if you want to say they dropped the ball, well, now they've had their wake-up call that they have to suss people out a little bit better. And like I said, get their phones and say, you got a gambling app on your phone? Fuck you. You're not coming to Toronto. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's right. Carlos here. Morning, fam. Good morning to you, Carlo. David saying, Snoopy, you have no idea what you're talking about. It's got nothing to do with the Raptors. Exactly. Snoopy, just stick to laying on top of your doghouse instead of in it and go talk to Woodstock or some shit like that. Okay? David, let's see. Mo's here. Good to see Superfan Mo. I know she's feeling tough about this. She was very big on Jonte. Jonte was one of her favorite players. She was at the game last night. She found out from staff at the game kind of what happened. And I know that Mo's not happy about this at all. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Raptors know what they are doing. Laugh out loud. Bummed to hear about Jonte. It's absolute travesty and stupidity of what Jonte did. Now, let's talk about something that's positive. We saw the return of Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett to the bench last night. We saw Scotty wearing intellectual glasses. The guys on the bench. This is really good. I'm going to tell you right now, I think RJ and Emmanuel are going to play tomorrow. That we're playing the Knicks, and this makes a big deal. And them just showing up last night for the game and sitting on the bench, RJ ready to return to the team. That's fantastic. I love seeing that. And you know what? They would have played last night if their conditioning had been better. But in some ways, that didn't help us to lose to the Nets if those guys came back. But the Knicks are a better team. And in some ways, we want to have firepower, and we don't want to be embarrassed against them. We can't have the same team we just played the Wizards and the Nets. So I fully expect at least IQ coming back for the next game, if not RJ also, especially since it's their old team and they're friends and they do like to compete against them. So I'm going to say tomorrow, I'll know more in the latest lineup news in the morning that RJ and Emmanuel might be available tomorrow, just so you know. Trevor J saying Celtics get their butt kicked by the Atlanta Hawks last night. I love that. I love hearing the Celtics lost last night. And good job, Hawks. You guys want to get my bounty? Put them out in the postseason next. I love people are saying who are the most disappointed team in the NBA this year. And I looked and nobody put the Raptors. Thank God. They're putting people like the Lakers, the Warriors, the Suns, and somebody even put the Celtics on there. So the most disappointing team. And everybody's like, whoa, why do you put the Celtics as the most disappointing team? They're the best team in the league with the record. And you say, well, just come see me at the end of the postseason and we'll see who's the most disappointing team by then. And I'm with them on that. I mean, the Celtics, they can have a dream season in the regular season and get all these wins and stuff. But they fail in the postseason. None of that shit matters. And they're the most disappointing team in the league. That's the way I look at it. Nako's saying kudos to Garrett. I'd rather have him fight for the worker. That's right. Garrett is literally the guy who's going to be in there representing Jonte to a degree. But it looked like from his face, he's not really thrilled about it. And he obviously looked a little disappointed in Jonte. This shit is even happening. I mean, Darko, this is a out of the blue kind of bullshit thing coming at him too. And it's interesting. Like, I really feel like Darko didn't totally understand the questions that were coming at him about Jonte yesterday. And it was really more about like talking about his whole life, about how he's looked at gambling and how he just has nothing to do with it. It's not a lifestyle or anything that he's interested in. And obviously, he's probably going to have to talk about this with the team a lot more in the future. As far as like, nobody needs to be doing this shit. Seriously. Let's see. Carlos saying Jonte has alleged Discord where he gives betting picks and is paid. Oh my gosh, that's awful. This sounds even worse and worse. I mean, it sounds like Jonte is really, really stupid. Like, in some ways, I did want to believe Jonte was stupid because in his interviews, I would be like, man, Jonte, you sound kind of dumb. I mean, you're smart basketball-wise. I see what you're doing on the court, and I feel like you're an intelligent basketball player. But you may not be very smart, like just in smarts wise. And I think this whole situation proves it. Yeah, Discord Sphercy is a server that you can have for yourself. In fact, I was going to build a Raptor Freak server on Discord, but I hated Discord and I gave up. Tom Duke was trying to set me up with it. It's basically a place where you can go and you can share things with a community that you want to be a part of. And it was basically kind of what we are doing in our Raptor Freak family group on Facebook is kind of what we would have done on Discord. I'm just doing it on Facebook instead. So it's a place where people can share stuff in a little group. Nako's saying, for better or worse, Discord gambling is a big thing. Yeah, okay, this is a phenomenon. Gerald's a young guy. He knows about the trends a little bit better than an old codger like me. And he's telling me, yeah, Discord betting is something. Okay, this is good information, Gerald. Thank you. Smooth saying, frankly, for Porter to do this, or if he has to go, man, he has to go. You can never call into question the integrity of the game. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Porter is the first of many. Yeah, I don't think he'll be the last. And I don't know how many times the NBA is going to have to learn this stupid lesson before they figure out they shouldn't be having gambling in sports. And honestly, David Stern, everybody knew this. This is something we've all known for a long, long time. This is why this threshold was never broken into until recently. And I think Smooth's exactly right. There's going to be more cases of this, and we'll have to see who's the next team that has it happen. Name is saying, I think Gary be betting on himself too, Jonte style. Sure would explain those cold streaks. Now, Nameless, I'm going to say this right now. We're going to ixnay the betting jokes on our team going forward. This is not a cool joke. And in some ways, there's allegations on one of our players right now that are very serious. And any kind of allegation, even though I made a joke about Bruce Brown earlier, I feel bad about it. I don't need to. Any further gambling jokes about our team is just not helpful. And in some ways, it's toxic. So let's not go there. Fiercely saying, I thought Discord meant disagreement, but what does it mean in gambling language? Discord is a company. It's a site. It's like Twitch or YouTube. And Discord provides private servers for groups to put stuff on. That's what Discord is. And it is a play off the word engagement. It's Discord is actually kind of like a place to meet with people. Scotty has a Discord that he runs with his friends, his inner circle of friends, Lloyd, Nick, Nardo, Jay, all of them are on the Discord with him. If Scotty sees something funny online that he likes, he can go and drop it in the Discord, and all of his friends that he's in the Discord with, it's a private server. They can see it and nobody else. So that's what Discord is. Jonte has a Discord set up where he's giving betting advice, apparently, is what Nako's saying. That's ridiculous, or whoever said that. It's ridiculous. So stupid. Michael's here. Michael Motley saying, morning, Lex. I also heard it's the amount of money put down on the bets, 20,000 on one bet. Yeah. Apparently these props that won were like the ones that won the biggest on those given nights. And I think that these betting companies in general, casinos do this anyway. Think about the big winners at craps tables in 21. There's kind of people that come around when they see a hot player and they kind of watch them to make sure that they're not fucking cheating. It's like oversight. They go and break hands if they do figure out they've got like some sort of system to gamble or something like that. Well, this is a similar kind of thing, is like, the money amount that was won on that particular prop, the under on Jonte's 3-point shots, it was very egregiously huge and weird and an anomaly. And that made the people that are in charge of the betting companies look into it further. And that's why this has happened. And then they noticed when they looked at both the times this happened, in both those games, Jonte left the game mysteriously. That's the really big thing that's incriminating him, is that he fucking left the games for weird reasons out of the blue. And that's the thing that's going to get him in trouble, I think. Snoopy's saying this is a huge deal in America right now. Channels are all talking about it, even made our state news channels here. Oh, yeah, it's a big deal because it is a very big problem. And I mean, obviously, if it's the Canadian franchise, they're going to run with it and drag our name through the mud left and right. In some ways, we have to show the integrity of the team and separate the individual from the group. And that's why I'm mad at you, Snoopy, because you're trying to circle the whole team around Jonte's problem and say we're all guilty. No, fuck that. I didn't have nothing to do with Jonte doing this shit. I'm anti-gambling. I've been saying anti-gambling. I'm a part of the Raptors franchise. You going to fucking incriminate me for this shit? I ain't got nothing to do with this. If I knew Jonte was doing this, I'd slap him across the face and tell him to stop doing this stupid shit. If any of his coaches knew he was doing this, they'd probably do the same damn thing I just said. So that's what I'm saying. Even though it's big and they're making a big deal of it out of there, it doesn't mean the bigness of it means there's a lot of people guilty. It's just one dude's in trouble, and maybe his inner circle and the people who helped him do it is in trouble, but not the Raptors or any of the officials in the Raptors. I'm going to tell you that right now. G was saying it was nice to see RJ on the bench and even with a smile at times. Yeah, you can tell he's in an emotional state. I was nice to see him feeling good around the team, getting hugs from people. It was really nice to see Dennis after the game come up to RJ and give him really nice words and encouragement and just like really sympathies. I could tell Dennis did that. And, that says a lot about who Dennis is, that he was very, very heartwarming and came to RJ to give him his condolences about his brother. Yeah, Goku's saying the whole Raptors team looks like they're tanking. A losing culture is breeding ground for guys who did what Porter did. Yeah, you're kind of extrapolating in the wrong way. That's absolutely kind of asinine, Goku. In some ways, I'm going to say our cartoon characters today are absolute full of shit. And, in some ways, Goku, Snoopy, I'm going to tell y'all to fuck off soon because y'all aren't regulars and you feel like you want to come in here and just opine on the Jonte Porter thing when y'all are not educated or informed on this subject in the least, it seems like. You go ahead. You might get in trouble here, just so you know. The Raptors team is tanking. I mean, it doesn't take somebody that's an expert to notice this, Goku. I mean, the fact that you're saying it seems like they're tanking kind of shows that you're dumb because they are obviously tanking. And if you're saying it seems like they're tanking, well, you're an idiot if you don't understand they are. Losing culture is a breeding ground for guys who did this. No, the breeding ground is the NBA just allowing it in the first place. It has nothing to do with the Raptors organization. It has to do with Adam Silver's decision to open up the betting across the league. This is going to happen. It doesn't matter that it's the Raptors. It could have been any of the 130 teams. In fact, I think it probably did happen with one of the other 30 teams. They may have covered it up or hushed it or did something different. It was a high-profile team like the Lakers or the Celtics. They're going to try and do damage control. They may do weird shit. If it's the Raptors, well, they'll put it on blast because we want the Raptors to look bad. I could honestly say that's probably true. I don't think Jonte's the first person who's gotten in trouble for this. And they're just really highly publicizing it because they're taking the ball and running with it down the field, just like a running back would go for a touchdown. And that's what I'm saying. You guys say this there's not a breeding ground for guys to do this, especially now that the alarm's been raised. You think that anybody else on the Raptors in the history going forward is ever going to get in trouble for this ever again? No, it won't. No, it won't. If this shit happens on the Raptors again, it'll be crazy. It'll be because it's a common occurrence that happens to teams all the time. It won't be because we allowed it to happen. And like I said, Masai and Bobby are smart. They do their job right. This is another thing they're going to look out for when they're bringing in new people. They are definitely going to look out for this and all the signs of possibly this happening and stuff. So, yeah, let's see. David's saying JFL will be back next year for sure. I'm not totally sure on this. If I had my choices, I'd pick Jamias. If it was a choice between Ramsey and Freeman Liberty, I want Ramsey is what I'm saying. Bryce is saying Discord is a communication app where you can make a community with lots of people. That's a better description than one I probably gave. Good job, Bryce. I'm going to give you a dunk for being informative and helpful. A lot of people in this chat aren't being helpful right now. And in some ways, they might get their due. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see. Nako's saying, Fiercey, Discord. Okay, you're saying it too. Discord is an online forum site with more private forums than something like Reddit. Yeah, both of the young guys there, Gerald and Bryce, giving the information. Snoopy saying, I personally don't think this would have happened if Nick Nurse was running the show. All right, Snoopy, are you a Sixers fan? Seriously. Nah, listen, Nick Nurse was even more subversive and causing problems for a team on the download than even Jonte Porter gambling on the game. I'm going to say that right now. What Nick Nurse did last year, in some ways, I say is more criminal because it's way more dishonest, and it's absolutely so fucked what Nick Nurse did to our team last year. Seriously. He submarined our team on the down low on purpose to go join up with Daryl Morey and coach the Sixers. There should be a tampering charge, first of all, for the Sixers franchise for messing with our head coach while he's under contract. And fuck you, Nick Nurse and Rich Paul and Clutch for fucking doing the bullshit that you did last year. Everything you did last year was half-assed. I watched you very closely. You threw games for us. There were close games we should have won, and if you'd coached us properly, we would have won those games. I went to a couple of those games last year, and the play-in is one of those games. You threw that game against Chicago when DeAndre DeRozan was screaming at us. So fuck you, Nick Nurse. And you think that this would have not happened under Nick Nurse? You're an idiot, Snoopy. You got 2 strikes. You get one more, you're out, bro. David's saying, ha, 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 what the fuck is happening? Why is that Snoopy? I don't know. I used to love Snoopy. Snoopy's supposed to be a cute little white beagle that is fun, has friends, and doesn't talk and dances and kind of is like Ziggy. So it's like a happy character. What the fuck? This is not what I thought Snoopy's voice would be like. That's not what I thought. Yeah, Carlos saying someone on Twitter has screenshots of someone using Tay trades 11, giving picks on Discord. Laugh out loud. Okay, interesting, Carlo. Interesting. And Fiercey's appreciative of those young guys giving us the deets on the Discord. Chris is saying Darko has the team thinking defense first, and it's too bad the offense isn't slick enough, but the lack of size is killer. Anyway, I think it's a good move. Make sure next year's bench is D first. Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, the undersizedness of us is okay if we work to cover them. If the rotations are good, like I said, we're playing them one-on-one and we have a chance, and our guys are scrappy, and the Nets aren't as getting to it, we can actually guard people pretty good. But we're definitely going to have to increase our wingspans and our height on our roster overall this summer. And a lot of these guys are trying out with us, the Vision 6'5" right now. They're not going to be on our team next year, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's a lot of people that are on this team right now. Jonte would have been a part of our future, but he fucked it up yesterday. Yeah, he did. Carlos saying goodbye, promising career. That's exactly right. Kareem saying Bruce Brown should have waited one more month before giving Jonte that 10K for the jersey number. That all right? That's you're bringing up something I forgot about. And Kareem, this is relatively funny, so I'm going to give you just one dunk. You're at 87 now. Let's see. Comma Crazy's here. Good to see Comma Crazy. No swearing Tuesday. Laugh out loud. Just kidding. Sup all. Sup, Comma Crazy. I will not cuss just for you, my guy. You're my guy, man. I will not cuss just for you. David's laughing. Goku saying he'll be perfect for Wall Street. Yeah, there you go. He should have just not even dealt with the NBA. Jonte, you really want to be a financial wizard? You really want to be a sports gambler? Well, you're going to get your wish. You ain't going to be playing the NBA anymore. And yeah, maybe you would fit in with those low lifes on Wall Street. Yeah, playing Monopoly imaginary games with everybody's money and just acting like crazy raving lunatics, psychotics, the Wall Street people. Nako saying, Nick Nurse, if he was still on the Raptors, show me all your financial situations. I need to make sure you're not up to good. No, Nick wouldn't do that. I'm telling y'all, it's not the coach that does this kind of shit. It's the front office. And it's people like Teresa Resch, who's now with the WNBA team, Dan Tolzman, Bobby Webster. These are the guys who are doing this. They do their research. And in some ways, this is a blind spot that they learned, that they need to watch out for people that may be betting. And they learned a lesson. And in some ways, I'd rather learn it this season than next season. That's for sure. Let's see. David's laughing. Carlos saying, yeah, that 10K was just recent. That was actually in like December, y'all. It's not that recent. That was like 3 or 4 months ago. Let's see. Seymour saying we are held at a higher standard than all the other 29 teams. We have to be squeaky clean, targeted because we are the only team not in the USA. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe Jonte, like, I hate to say it, but sometimes people are paid a lot of money to do something fucked up to try and fuck other people up. And I don't know. Until all the dust settles on this and all the fallout and what the adjudication is with him, how it happens, I really don't want to opine on this too much. I will say I do feel like he probably is guilty, but I also say that the team should not be in any trouble because it's obviously an individual infraction that by one individual, and it doesn't go any further than him. I honestly, who the fuck is going to be in cahoots with him? The people that think that people in our franchise were in cahoots with him. That doesn't make any fucking sense. As soon as he comes to somebody on the team like Jim Sand or anybody in the front office, they're going to say, what the fuck are you talking about? You're crazy. You cannot gamble on things. Like, you think anybody on the team is going to be, a team official is going to be like, yeah, that's a great idea, Jonte. Let me get on that action. That's why it's just so stupid. Use logic and reasoning in your lives, people, especially these casual cartoon characters who are with us today. Use some logic and reasoning in your lives. Like, actually think things through. Does that make any sense? Oh, like team officials say, yeah, let's make a little bit of money on the side with Jonte and his little gambling scheme. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Seriously, they're going to tell him not to do that shit if they knew he was doing it. You know that's true. Let's see. Snoopy's saying, David, in my opinion, Nick Nurse would never would go for this type of losing culture in players. You're a casual. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. Nick had losing culture on the down low yet last year. He was doing losing culture on purpose because if he didn't lose, we wouldn't have fired him. If he had done things correctly, we would have been a very good team last year. We would have won way more. We wouldn't have been a play-in team. We would have been a playoff team. Our team was very good last year. You look at who we fucking had: Fred, Pascal, OG, Scotty, Jakob. We had a really good fucking team. Nick Nurse steered it into the ground himself as a coach, just like a college player would shave points in a college game, in any kind of scandal like that. Nick Nurse was shaving wins for the Raptors last year. And it was all on purpose so that Masai would have to fire him. He put us in a bad place. You talk like Nick Nurse is some sort of fucking god. You must be a Sixers fan. Because honestly, he is not. He's the equivalent of Vince Carter as a coach. And a lot of the casual Raptors fans do not understand this. Y'all should be pissed off at Nick, just like we were pissed off at Vince when he admitted he did not try on the Raptors for the last 2 years he was on our team. Nick Nurse did this shit on the down low. It's not common knowledge. The Raptor Freak family understands this and knows this because we pay fucking attention. And casual ass fans can revere and think of Nick Nurse in certain ways, but you all are fucking wrong. And what I'm saying to you makes sense if you actually would fucking listen to me. So, yeah, you go ahead and think Nick Nurse would never have allowed this to happen. Bullshit. He wouldn't have known, just like Darko, and it could have happened to him just as much as anybody else. So don't even act like Nick Nurse is some sort of institution that knows all. Seriously, you're pissing me off. Next one, I'm going to kick you out. Carlos saying he's going to get the book thrown at him. Yeah, he will. He will. He'll be a scapegoat, a patsy, and his life is ruined at this point. David saying, did you watch last season? We don't have a losing culture. We're just losing games. That's right, David. Take these guys out. David, you have my full green light to fucking go off on these jokers. Goku's playing a player can guarantee the under. You can never guarantee you go over. That's what I'm saying. So that's part of what incriminates him, Goku. And that's what I'm saying. I think he is in trouble because the under is a very suspicious because that's how you throw games. So, yeah, I'll agree with what you're saying here. That's right. In some ways, you can't guarantee you're over because in some ways you don't know your playing time because your coach could pull you out all of a sudden. And there's all kinds of different ways. So if he's going to try and make sure bets, it has to be on unders. That's for sure. You're right, Goku, on that one. I'll give you on that comment. Fiercely saying, as a parent, I can only think how much pain and disappointment it causes to see your kid take that route. I highly doubt he was raised in a sketchy family environment, so it must be his acquaintances. I have no idea what it is. Like I said, there's all kinds of like little like subcultures and groups of people that are really into gambling right now. Who knows if it's a bad influence of a friend or somebody? In some ways, they may be needing to go watch his brother now. Like Michael Porter Jr. may be getting a little bit more attention all of a sudden today about things that are going on with him, around him. You know, I mean, I don't know. In some ways, I'm like, I don't understand how you could have such a dumbass blind spot, Jonte. And it really makes me wonder if kids are just dumb and they do not understand how dangerous this betting culture is. I really feel like that's what it is. I feel like Jonte didn't take it serious enough to understand the ramifications of what he could get in trouble for. And now he's gotten in trouble. He's fucked. And I think that's part of the problem. I think that it's so in our face now and normalized with commercials on TV that everybody thinks, oh, it's okay. In some ways, the players are like, well, everybody else can do it. Why can't I? Well, because you're involved in the product, you dumbass. And you should not be betting on this in some ways. The public can do it. Okay. Even that's shady. There's all kinds of ways the players could bet through their friends or their family and get shit this way too. So they have to check that shit too. So they're really checking people. And Jonte fell in the trap. Idiot. That's what I got to say. Carlos saying, laugh out loud. Snoopy, what is the correlation between Jonte gambling and Nick? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that Sixers fan, he's just a douchebag, and he's come in here on a day where we have a tragedy and a scandal, and he just wants to fucking be a little shit, is what it seems like. Smooth saying, all Porter had to do is average 10 and 4, and he would get a $50 million contract. That's it. He was on the verge of being a rotation player starting next year. Wow, he's an idiot. Yeah, he is very dumb, Smooth. He is very, very dumb. And yeah, he had a lot of more money coming his way instead of this quick money on the stupid shit. G saying, Jonte's brother, Michael Porter Jr. is making $180 million. I wonder if being in the shadow caused him to take such a big, dumb risk. I don't think he's comparing his bank payroll to his brother. In fact, Michael was very supportive of Jonte coming back. He's a big reason why Jonte tried to continue his NBA career. Jonte was going to quit. Jonte was just going to stay home and maybe just bet on games. But Michael was like, no, man, you're good. You should try and still do your NBA career and try and get back out there. So he did. And he's finding success without injury recently. But now he went and fucked it up with his gambling. It's so stupid. So stupid. Michael was pushing him to come back. Seymour saying prayers for Baltimore. Check on your family if you have some there. That's really awful and bad. And, the Baltimore area is underfunded with infrastructure, and this may be a symptom of that. That, in some ways, if a boat hits a bridge, that bridge should be able to take a good lick. But if there's some sort of drunk boat operator that ran into the bridge, or the bridge had not had maintenance in the last decades, if it was really a bridge that was on its last leg, then it was really just about to crumble, well, in some ways, the government's at fault. that they had a faulty bridge in operation that they should not be letting people drive on. So they're going to figure this out, and there will be repercussions. The repercussions of the train accident in Ohio have been coming out more and more, and there's lawsuits, and there's people that are getting in trouble for not having the right oversights on these things. In some ways, there's similar cases. In some ways, they are. Nameless is saying, I thought it was funny when one of the reporters asked Darko if basically anybody has ever threatened to break his legs before. Yeah, Darko didn't totally understand that question. They were saying, has anybody ever mentioned to you what JB Bickerstaff has gone through, threatened you about not playing someone to make a gambling bet go through? And Darko didn't understand that. He was saying, I've never been involved in betting culture. I don't think he knew what JB Bickerstaff has been going through. And then he came around and circled around and said, no, has anybody ever threatened you because you didn't help them get their bets? And he said, that has not happened to me. And then he said, yet. And he probably will happen to him at some point. And that's part of the problem with this bullshit right now. Kareem saying, all games that involve Jonte should be forfeited by the Raptors for ruining the NBA's integrity. That gives the Raptors a top 3 pick, and I'm cool with that. All right, Kareem, you want a three-pointer for ludicrous silliness? You're at 90 now, my guy. Look at that, 90 dunks for this guy. He's the leading scorer in the dunks. No, that's hilarious. Like, I can get behind this. Y'all really want to punish us for Jonte? Take our wins away for every single game that he played in. You can even do the G League. Let's really bottom out dumbass Eric Curry's record too. And just say every single game Jonte played in on the 905 or in the NBA, go ahead and take it away from the Raptors. I'm really good with this punishment, exactly for the same reason that Kareem is. Because as the win total goes down, well, we get closer to the land of Detroit and Washington. Yeah, that's funny. David saying, I know Stern wasn't perfect, but he did what he had to do. I believe he had good intentions for the game. He must be turning in his grave. Rest in peace, Mr. Stern. Well, this was a huge thing that David Stern, I know, because I remember back then, he was very anti-gambling, and he would be so disappointed in Adam Silver right now if he could see what was happening right now. In some ways, he understood he could have done this at any time himself and cashed in some chips and made some cheap-ass money, but degrading society and hurting the integrity of the game is not worth it to him for the extra money that would come from this revenue. Well, Adam Silver, apparently it is. And I think you're exactly right. I think David Stern would be so disappointed in what's happened with the opening up of gambling around the NBA. And he would probably be really pissed about what's happened. Seriously, he'd be very pissed about it in different ways, I'm sure. Let's see. Nako saying, I think the Porters are irresponsible, though, through and through, and they are good at basketball. Okay. All right. Snoopy saying, Jonte wouldn't try this with Coach Nurse. Do players respect Darko? I got a lot of questions, and I'd like to get some answers. You know what, Snoopy? You can fuck right off. You know what? I'm going to tell you to go on down to the lake with Woodstock and go ahead and just jump in the river and just go on and keep swimming. You're gone. You're never going to be able to say anything on this channel ever again because you abused your ability to be in here. I'm not trying to keep subscriptions. I'm not trying to keep a lot of people in here. I don't give a shit about my number going up. This is a clubhouse. This is for Raptors fans, real Raptors fans, and you are getting the fuck out of here. So adios, stupid ass little canine dumbass. Go say hi to Charlie Brown and Linus and Peppermint Patty and all the rest of the peanuts, you dumbass, is what I'm going to say right there. So, yeah, you go ahead and go down there and fillet Nick Nurse some more. Yes, closet Sixers fan bullshit, motherfucker. All right, James is saying we should get a center from the G League soon. Well, I'm wondering who it would be. I mean, we could do McCurr from our own team. He would be the best center coming up next. But in some ways, I see them staying undersized and getting Justice Winslow a birthday present. In some ways, maybe Justice Winslow is going to get called up on his birthday today. And I'm kind of cool with that. David's saying, yes, they respect Darko. Yeah, next question. Yeah, Idiot's gone. It's all good. Carlos saying, what is the correlation between your coach and a gambling problem? No, it's just some dumbass saying stupid ass shit. And he's gone his way now. He can go smell his own turds now. Goku saying that this makes the Raptors organization look like a joke to the rest of the league. It's such a bad look. All right, Goku, you're going to go now too. You know what? Listen, like I said, this is a Raptors fan channel for Raptors fans. You are not a Raptors fan, so you can fuck right off too, Goku, with your little Dragon Ball Z bullshit. Yeah, go watch like the news or watch adult programs, you anime little shithead. All right, that's what I'll say. All right, there you go. David's saying there isn't one, Carlos. And Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex from Raptor Freaks. Good morning, Cowboy. Good to see a positive, good Raptors fan in here, unlike these fucking fake-ass little shitheads. Seymour saying, Snoopy, wait, what? What? Pause? Hold on. Ha, David. Yeah, let's see. All right. Yeah, let's keep going. Fiercely saying, like you said, Lex, the situation will enable us to be extra careful in future onboardings. That's a weird one. Are you on a cruise ship? Onboarding future acquisitions, maybe. Masai, Bobby are good at assessing and picking. This is not their fault. Jonte outsmarted them. He didn't outsmart anybody, Fiercey. That's silly. No, he dumbassed himself. It's not outsmarted. David's saying Snoopy and Goku, this is going to be getting interesting. Yeah, they're already gone, David. Fuck those guys. Nako saying, I don't understand why a coach would just seek out one of their players gambling out of the blue. A coach has other things to focus on, be it Darko or Nick. Yeah, logic and reasoning from Nako. And honestly, it's just a piece of shit. Other fans from other nations coming here fucking jumping on the carcass of Jonte Porter's gambling career, dumbass. Seymour saying ESPN is mosquitoes to the Raptors. No surprise if you were a real one. That's right, Seymour. I'm with you on that. I'm going to give Seymour Pape a dunk for being a real one and understanding. Yeah, we don't give a shit. In some ways, you can think it makes us look bad as a team, but honestly, it makes the NBA look bad overall. Honestly, it's not a Raptors problem. This is an NBA problem, you dumbasses. That's what it is. Let's see. G saying, yes, it's a bad look, but he wasn't the first and he won't be the last. He was just obvious because he's not a big name and the bets were big. Yeah, yep. Seymour saying, if Dana ain't hit it yet, today's 2-finger salute to ESPN. Yeah, give it to Goku and the other guy too while you're at it. Wayne saying, glad for Dennis last night. Real class act. Jonte is known to be very good at numbers. Don't know about gambling, but investment analytics. I was becoming disillusioned with his lack of taking shots. You know, I wonder about when they kept saying he's a financial genius, if it was because he's gambling and it had nothing to do with stocks or anything like that. That was one of the things that Tom, family friend of the Porters, said, that he's a financial genius and he knows how to make money. I hope it wasn't that he was making money just off the bets, and that's why he was a financial genius. Jonte Porter's sole responsibility is his actions, is himself. And anybody who thinks it's a Raptors responsibility, you're a fucking dumbass. Smooth saying, like you said, Lex, Woj would not put his reputation on the line if there's no substance to this. And that's why I feel like it's probably very true and stuff like that. So let's see. G saying, I don't bet, but wouldn't it help if someone leaves the game early that those bets just don't count? Wouldn't that fix some of this? Betting on sports is going to cause so many problems. Well, the best way to fix betting on sports is to just outlaw it once again. Honestly, they don't even understand human innovation on all the different ways that people can game this or do really crazy shit to try and make money in really nefarious ways. And honestly, it's going to be like trying the integrity of the game from all different aspects. Like Jonte's one thing, but there can be all kinds of other ways. Of course, the refs have always been suspicious for bullshit they do. You know, there's all kinds of ways that the stress test of the NBA's integrity is going to be on it because of the fucking gambling element. It's just going to be a problem no matter what. Yeah, wow. I see how far you guys rode, and now we're at the cosmic card of the day. Wow, that's crazy. Carlos saying, yeah, it's going to be a case of being too smart for your own good. I don't think he's too smart, though. In some ways, there's like, I don't even know if he's book smart. I don't even know if he's common sense smart. Sometimes people are either common sense smart or book smart. And to me, he's neither one at this point. I think he's basketball smart. I think he has basketball IQ and he knows how to play basketball and he understands basketball. But I don't think he's intelligent as far as like book smart, because that's really dumb what he did. And then even common sense smart. That's not common sense smart either. So I'm not going to get behind any kind of genius around him other than maybe he was a genius on the defensive end and how he covered space. That was the one place I'll give him genius on. But I don't think he's any kind of financial genius or too smart or anything like that. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to adjudicate this right. I'm going to give it to MSJ. So he did write it correctly first at the end. Even he wrote it first, and then he did put it in as the full one. And because Smooth put I and Ennis, so Chris, you will get the points for the Cosmic Card still, because you did correctly spell his name fully first. So MSJ does get the 100 points today. All right, there we go. All right, yeah, and Smooth's even saying I spelled it wrong. There you go. All right, let's see. To be or not to be? That is the question, and that is what David is saying. And I jumped ahead, so I'm going to come back real quick and make sure I don't miss any of these comments except for the fuck faces, and they're getting skipped for the rest of the day. Very much skipped and out of the way. All right, where is the part that I just saw? Wow, you guys really filled it up, but that's all right. We got to talk about this shit because honestly, this is a big deal, and we do need to talk about all this today. And I don't mind doing a little bit of a Lexathon in this case. All right, where are we now? Where are we? Where am I? All right, I got to get to the right spot. And I see Logical Raptors Fanatics here, and I haven't read any of his comments yet, so we'll definitely want to hear what Mike has to say because Mike is our dude. Mike is a really smart guy, and he understands his stuff. And I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, hang on. Why is there so much here? Why is there so much? All right, definitely give me a cutoff. I'm gonna have to be done after everything y'all have said right now. All right, there's where I'm at. That's the question: to be or not to be. You, Chris, give it to Chris. I will give it to Chris. Monique saying it was a team effort, even a loss. Yeah, let's go back to the game. In some ways, the Jonte stuff is not as important as like the Raptor stuff. In some ways, we'll move past it. Looking at the team stats, the Nets did shoot better than us, just slightly. We did get more shots than them on goal. The 3-pointers were absolutely horrible from the Raptors last night. 5 for 27. I hate that. Free throws, not too bad. We did get very badly out rebounded, as Chris said, 50-30. And that was a huge part of why we lost. The turnovers were pretty good. We actually took care of the ball really well last night. Only 10, and they got 20. But we didn't capitalize on the turnovers very well. There was a lot of times where we get the turnover, and we didn't convert at the other end. Part of the problem with our team right now is they're not converting on offense very well. There's a lot of missed layups. There's a lot of just like open shots that would normally go in. Our talent level's more healthy with RJ, IQ, Scotty, Jakob, Chris Boucher, everybody back. We convert on these shots better. And there's a lot of missed layups that are driving me nuts. They're absolutely driving me nuts. And it's kind of stupid how much we miss close to the basket right now. So yeah, team stats, they beat us in some categories that were important, like rebounds and shooting. Those were the ones that really kind of beat us last night. So let's see. Fiercely saying, I need new glasses, Tabernacle. MSJ saying, I never half-ass. I always full-ass it. All right. I'm just saying, in the future, guys, just know this about all my trivia. Just don't write half the name. Give me the full name, please. But you do get the points. You do get the points. David's laughing. Technically, Enos Freedom at this point, and you spelled his first name wrong too, Nako. But that's fine. Either way, I would have taken Freedom also. It would have worked also. Let's see. Seymour saying, is the situation between us and the Knicks over two? Because there's a lot of rooted junk on our plate. That's not totally been resolved, but in some ways, I'm not worried about all this kind of shit. In some ways, the lawsuit has been around us this whole season, and it really hasn't been a factor, honestly. In some ways, people see it for what it is. It's a frivolous New York lawsuit from a crusty old man named Leon Rose and James Dolan, stupid ass. And in some ways, they don't take the lawsuit very seriously. If it was serious, they would put it on blast way more. And they're not going to do that. In some ways, the Raptors could actually sue some people if they put too much on the news, the stuff about the lawsuit, and it is found to be frivolous. The initial reporting of the Azartam stuff in the beginning of the season is fine because it's a story. But if they harped on it over and over again and put it on every single day on ESPN and made it tabloid shit, they could get in trouble and get a lawsuit from the Raptors if we're found not at fault in the Azartam lawsuit from the Knicks. So I'm not worried about that. And I'm not worried about Jonte either. In some ways, the idiots that are in here are trying to make us feel like we should be worried, but we really shouldn't be. Because honestly, the personal responsibility of Jonte is what will catch everything that happened with him. And the thing with Azartam is going to be worked out, and it's going to be really frivolous and stupid. And a lot of people will laugh at the Knicks when it's all over and said and done with, honestly. So, all right, let's keep going. Smooth saying, I have to work on my grammar, man. It's all good, Smooth. You're still the Cosmic Card of the Day leader. David saying, hey, laugh out loud, Snoopy, are you a Raptor fan, or are you just following breaking news stories? Yeah, Snoopy is a little shithead beagle who is owned by Charlie Brown. And honestly, Snoopy, I'm so disappointed in you. I used to really like you when I was a kid. In fact, we had in the 70s, we had the little icy machine making thing, Snoopy's icy machine. And it was fun. But man, where have you gone to? You degenerate, you Nick Nurse fellatio, that's what you are, man. You're filleting Nick Nurse. You're a dick rider for Nick Nurse, it sounds like. Yeah, let's see. Tom's got a new emoticon. And what is that, Tom? That's a Jonte tank? Yeah, you got to get rid of that, Tom. I'm not okay with that. You may think that's funny and cool, Tom, but that one won't last. Only for today. But you got to move it. You got to switch that after the stream today. Seriously, Tom. I do not want that to be one of my emoticons on this channel. And fuck Jonte. In some ways, I want to forget Jonte ASAP as soon as possible. We go through this whole process the fair way. If he's not guilty, well, we'll see what happens. His reputation may be damaged too far already. But otherwise, I want to move away from him. Forget about him. We're going to keep moving in the future. The future is bright for the Raptors and barbecue. And Jonte Porter fucked up. He's not coming with us. Kareem's saying this is more proof that the Koloko thing is absolutely killing us in more ways than one. Jonte, you effing idiot. Well, having two really good center prospects this year both go up in smoke because of things we could not control ourselves as a team. It really sucks. Jonte, you could have controlled this, but you fucked it up. And it sucks. It sucks. David saying, I only know that Smooth Brown Man because my girlfriend corrected me the other day. I always say spelt as opposed to spelled. Spelled. Yeah, I don't even know what y'all are talking about right now. It's all good. Grammar. Fiercely saying, wait, what, Lex? Giving a star to Dennis? You know what? I'm good with it. Yeah, of course I give a star to Dennis. Yeah, he's on the list of Raptors this year, and he's going to get points by the end of the season. When I tally up the stars of the game for the whole year, I'm going to look at the standings of the Raptors and the Raptors 905, and I'm going to tell y'all who was our best players overall. And if you think about the turnover of the Raptors, how many players we had, there's going to be a very long list. And it'll be interesting to see the difference between the old guard with Siakam and all them and the new guard and who actually contributed to us helping us win more this season. Because I weighted towards the wins. So the people that were involved in wins and had their best games, they get more points. But Dennis being on the Nets last night and helping us indirectly, he's going to get points for that. He's going to get points for that. Seymour saying Snoopy's pick looks like Nick Nurse. Is that you? Yeah, who knows? Either way, Snoopy, you know what? You're out of here, bro. You're gone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Never to come back again. James is saying the remaining schedule looks pretty tough when we get one win. We could probably get one win. Yeah, I think so too, James. You know, IQ and RJ coming back 2 games ago. Well, we beat Washington and Brooklyn last night. But they'll come back tomorrow, hopefully, against the Knicks. We'll make a good showing. And if we just barely lose, hey, that's all right. That's all right. Tom's got 73. I don't even know what that means, 73. David's saying making a run for it. Yeah, you guys, that's got to go, Tom. And especially, I hate that emoticon. That may be the worst emoticon you've ever made for this channel. And I really do not approve of it, just so you know. Let's see. Alley-oop to Sheriff. Yeah, I'll give you the Sheriff and alley-oop. I mean, I know you worked hard on that, Tom, but I hate that so much, and you need to get rid of it. It's not something that should be on the stream tomorrow. Let's see. Carlos saying that Kobe hustles. I like him. I love the 8. I love the whole Kobe Bryant kind of thing. You can tell he really loves Kobe. His name's Kobe, and he wears number 8. And honestly, I really like the length on him. He has really good wingspan, and he's quick to get to places. And he has a certain intelligence and awareness that is really good. He's a little bit older, as I said, and you can tell he's worked on and been around the G League for a bit, and he really wants that chance to get in the NBA. That's why I would pick him over JFL too, because in some ways he has a quickness in scoring to him to get the basket that's better than JFL's. I believe Kobe Simmons will make those layups in the NBA better than JFL because he has length on his arms that will get him up over the long arms of Nicholas Claxton. That's why I like him better. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I liked JFL's answers at the post-game presser. He now speaks in a positive way in respect to his future with us. Mentioned they are into building the team for next year. Yeah, maybe he's giving signs that he is in the plans for next year and that he already has a spot kind of already promised to him. I'm okay with JFL continuing. It's just in some ways, I'm worried that I'm going to be right about him. And it's just a waste of time. In some ways, I just caution. It's like we could do better is what I'm kind of saying about this, that we could do better. Let's see. Seymour saying, salute, Canadian Cowboy, Raptor Freaks and Freakettes. Good morning to you, Seymour. And James saying, didn't JFL sign a multi-year contract with us? No, he's on a 2-year. He's on a 2-way. He's on a 2-way right now. He just got upgraded from did he? Did he get a multi-year contract? Let me go look. I'm going to go look at it on Basketball Reference. I can kind of look at this and maybe check it. Mike might know. Mike knows this kind of stuff. Logical Raptors fanatic. He usually is up on where everybody is and what with the contracts. Let me see. I'm going to go look at his page and see what it says. He was converted to a regular contract this season from a 2-way. But it doesn't say the terms of it. It doesn't give me the terms, and I can't see his contract summary. They don't have it up. So I can't tell you for sure if what it is. And I will say this is more likely that he's non-guaranteed. It's probably not. He's not guaranteed. It's probably likely that he's non-guaranteed. He's got to come back. He's got to play for them this summer, and he's got to play in training camp. And if he proves something in preseason and training camp, they'll make him fully guaranteed. I'll bet you that's the route he's on right now. That he's not guaranteed. but he has the chance later on to make himself guaranteed. All right, let's see. JFL is my Raptors Jesus. Okay, I don't understand that. In some ways, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're saying he's your Raptors Jesus. You know, I like that there's a lot of long hairs on our team. We got Kelly and Gary and JFL. These guys all have long hair. I kind of like that aspect. Fiercely saying, okay, I know they put Mikal Bridges as the number one option, but the same way he was hitting shots, the same way he was creating turnovers or misses. I'm sorry, but he is not him. You know, Mikal is a weird player. I feel like he's kind of a subdued kind of personality. I mean, he's a really talented athletic body, and he can do a whole lot of stuff. But he also seems like a modest kind of guy. He seems like a nice guy. And then sometimes I worry about guys that are too nice. He's definitely the most talented player from Villanova in the league right now. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's anybody else from Villanova that's got more talent than him. And I'm talking about Brunson. I'm talking about all those Knicks. It's just that the mix he's on in the Nets is going to stymie him. It's not going to make him grow as well because the team is just weird right now. If I was a Nets fan, I'd be really wanting to build around Mikal in ways that make sense, and hopefully you can get things going and he can continue to develop really well. Of course, Darko developed Mikal Bridges a bit himself. He was in Phoenix and he worked with him specifically. In fact, he talked recently about working with Mikal Bridges and some of the things that he worked on and developed with him specifically himself. So that's something for the Darko hater, dumbasses, cartoon characters in here. Well, did you know that Darko has a hand in developing a lot of the big stars in this league right now? There's a lot of stars in this league that give him credit for unlocking them. So pause on your derision of Darko and realize he's going to unlock Grady Dick and Scotty to levels that y'all are going to be very happy about in the next couple of years. And you're going to feel really bad about dissing Darko right now because you're going to see the results of what happens with the team. And you're going to be like, I'm an idiot. I should have never doubted Darko. Just like you shouldn't doubt Masai, you shouldn't doubt Darko. I'm going to tell you that right now. James is saying players shouldn't be able to bet on themselves. There should be a rule like that. They aren't. They're not allowed to. It's not even. They're not even allowed to bet on themselves, James. They're not allowed to bet on anything. It's absolutely prohibited. I don't even think they're allowed to bet on the NFL. Like they're not supposed to be betting on anything. Anything. I think that's the rule that they said is that NBA employees, whether they're players or people that are involved in the league, are not allowed to bet. Just in general, anywhere. They're not supposed to be on betting sites, betting on anything, any sport, regardless of themselves or the NBA. David's saying there is a rule like that. Yeah, there definitely is. Carlos saying, I don't think he actually bet on himself. He gave tips to his Discord patrons on what to bet on. Okay, so he's even stupider, Carlo. So it's almost like, listen, I'm not going to profit from this myself, but I'm going to go on my Discord and I'm going to share proprietary knowledge about myself and tell all these people to bet on me, and then I'm going to fucking take myself out of the game, and I'm not even going to get any money from it? Well, then he's a real idiot. And if there's evidence, there's a digital trail from his Discord server and this kind of shit, well, he deserves to get in trouble and get the full punishment that he's going to get. Yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying this was a specific pick. Yeah, the prop bet was a very specific prop bet on his 3-point being under is both times. Fiercely saying Friday freak out, burn inside legs. Get ready for that rant. Yeah, I'm building this one up. It's something that Monique shared with me this weekend that absolutely pissed me off, and I am going to go off on it on Friday. I'm going to stew this one, and y'all will see it on Friday. Be ready for that. Cowboy saying I feel bad for Justin Bieber. He's like Friday. Justin Bieber, what's wrong with him? He's all right. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I predict the last game we win is when RJ and IQ come back. We will crush the opponent, whoever it will be. Well, it may be the Knicks tomorrow. Logical saying, all right, good to see Mike. Once again, Mike, for showing up, I'm going to give you a dunk because I really do love you, man. You are really one of my favorite YouTube content creators. I wish you still made stuff, but I understand if you're busy. There's 6. You got 6 dunks now, my guy. And let's see what you're saying. 6 for Bill Russell. He is saying that people are saying Jonte is dumb, but the Raptors aren't getting wrung out by people. The bets were focused on his prop bets, so it's basically just him if he's guilty. Exactly, Mike. This is the thing. Celtics Nation, Sixers Nation, who's probably here right now, acting like they're in here, masquerading as cartoon characters, is trying to make the damage more fallout. They want more toxic falling all over the place on the franchise. And Mike's exactly right. This is the sole responsibility of the individual who did this crime. And that's it. That's right. Dap to Logical Raptors fanatic. That's right, Nameless. And Cowboys got Darko on blast. I love it. David saying, thanks, Logical. Nice to see you. That's right. Logical Raptors fanatic is logical once again. Carlos got screenshots of Jonte's Discord. Yikes. And Raptor Freak family salute to Mike. Yeah, Mike is our guy. We love you, Mike. You're a legend on this channel. You always will be, my guy. Chris is saying, I hope the Raptors sue Jonte. Have him play in the North Korean league to pay off his debt. Get Rodman to broker the deal. Now, this is an interesting idea, Chris. I'm not going to poo-poo this right away because this could be realistic, honestly. Because in some ways, he's defaming our whole team by association. And in some ways, there may be some sort of legalities on this. Now, I will tell you this. If we do anything like this, it won't be public. It won't be public. And if it is put out publicly, well, it will be. But in some ways, we may be also having the strategy. We just want this to go away. And any kind of lawsuit against him afterwards will perpetuate it further in the news cycle. And in some ways, that's not helpful to us either. So I don't know. In some ways, we may just take the loss and say, we're sad about this. You fucked up. You're an idiot. You've really hurt our team. But you know what? We're not going to be punitive and drag this out just to get some money from you on this. I don't think that's the goal. In some ways, you want to save your reputation. Well, I think that these idiots that come in here saying that the reputation of the Raptors is hurt by this is absolutely full of shit. I think that most logical people in this world that are mature and adult and understand logic will say, well, this isn't the Raptors' fault. This is a player on their team doing something stupid. And I think that the idiots in here are just opportunists, and they're trying to jump on a scandal right now. Is what it is. Yeah. Let's see. Nako saying Darko a better coach for Scotty than Nick. I will agree with this. I think that the Darko system is fantastic. It's been super successful. And despite the wins this year, it's absolutely the great foundation going forward for us. In fact, I would say in the recent games that we played against teams that have much better talent against us. But the system of Darko still works and finds offense for us better than Nick's isolation system of last year would have. We would have stagnated and had very dry periods of the game where we didn't score for 7 minutes of the quarter. That was Nick Nurse kind of shit. Well, we don't have those periods of stagnation with Darko since he's coached us. There would be 8 minutes where we wouldn't score on the Raptors. And we're wondering when we're going to score again because we didn't facilitate or foster an environment of passing and getting easier shots because it was all about isolating Siakam. And that's it. And that's why, in some ways, Darko's a huge upgrade over Nick Nurse because he has an offense that's going to be really good in the years to come. Nick Nurse didn't have jack shit. It's going to go anywhere in the years to come. In fact, the fact that he's still running a similar kind of system in Philadelphia without Joel Embiid, they lose more than they win. And that shows that his offensive system is fucked. His whole philosophy of not passing the ball to not get turnovers stagnates your offense and does not help teamwork and does not help chemistry and does not help you score. If you're really going to overdo it with isolation, Maxey this or isolation Embiid this, you get what you get, Nick Nurse. And I hope that Nick Falater that was here earlier heard what I said. Yeah, that's what I said right there, motherfucker. That's right. Fiercey saying alley-oop Cowboy in reference to Justin Bieber. Lex, go easy on Justin. I'm not going to beat up Justin. I know that there's been some weird stuff where I've done weird Muppet stuff like I'm choking him or something like that, like I was on the Muppet Show or something like that. But nah, Justin Bieber's fine, guys. I'm not abusing Justin Bieber to work my anger out on him, guys. Come on now. But I will give Cowboy an alley-oop because you asked me to. I will give Cowboy an alley-oop for that. But yeah, don't worry about Justin. He's fine. You got 42, Danielle Marshall. Let's see. Trevor J saying we might be heading back to another Iowa and LSU showdown in the women's tournament. Interesting, Trevor. Thanks for the news. Mike saying Jonte bet against himself. Unders on props. Complete opposite on bet yourself to win. Yeah, he didn't listen to Fred. Seymour saying they probably kicked down Jonte's door like he was Puff Daddy. No, they probably showed up at our facilities or at practice and said, hey, come with us real quick. Fiercely saying Koloko has had health issues, could not be anticipated. Just like in some ways we could say Jonte had gambling issues, and these could not have been anticipated either in some ways. That's the thing. Wayne saying, Lex, please do not opine on the Lakers or somebody else doing what Jonte allegedly has done. We don't know, so don't pacify or state actions to other teams. Not fair to them without ample evidence. Well, I will say this. I mean, the way the NBA has been run and the system of things, if there were scandals with some teams, they may cover it up. And I don't think that that's something that's totally not relevant to talk about. I wouldn't put it past them. Why should I trust the NBA to treat everybody fairly? They do not show that with their refereeing. So why would I trust them to adjudicate these kind of scandals fairly also? And I don't know if anybody else has gotten in trouble or investigated for gambling so far. They definitely didn't blow up on ESPN like Jonte Porter did yesterday. And that's what I always say. It doesn't have to be the Lakers. It could be any of the franchises. I just use them as examples. If they had some sort of betting scandal and Adam Silver knew that it would be bad for that team and the things that are going on around them, they're already a circus and they're just barely hanging on to the play-in anyway, he might protect them because he knows the end of LeBron's career is coming up and he wants to squeeze every drop of it out of there. And if there's any kind of Lakers gambling scandal, well, it would like cloud things and kind of make things really weird and shit. So I would say that, in some ways you're right. I shouldn't just blanketly say things like that. And I should say, like, I'm just saying this as an example. This is not, I'm saying that this is true, but I wouldn't put it past the NBA to have a gambling scandal already. And they've covered it up is basically what I tried to say, Wayne. So David's saying Ice Ice Baby. And Nako's saying, I do like the centers in this draft. Makes me feel like this draft is a wee underrated. Well, we'll have to see how it is, Nako. That may not be true. We'll have to see. Let's see. David's saying, laugh out loud. And Nako's saying, Kobe oddly reminds me of Malcolm Miller. This is weird to me because, Gerald, how can he remind you of Malcolm Miller when we barely saw Malcolm Miller play? Like, I can't remember hardly any of the Malcolm Miller games. Like, seriously, how many times did he get out on the court and do anything of distinction to make you, like, make a player comparison to him? Like, seriously, do you I mean, I guess he came out and hit a couple threes here and there. Like, that's all I remember him for is he was good for hitting open threes. In some ways, Kobe is not a bad three-point shooter, but he's a better slasher scorer going to the basket, and he's also really good in transition. I don't know. They're different players. I remember Malcolm Miller being a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. It was pretty dead eye. But other than that, he didn't have anything else to his game. So it's a weird comparison that you bring up Malcolm Miller. Like, how much did you actually watch him play, Gerald? Come on now. G saying Scotty, RJ, IQ, and Kelly will help this culture next season. We got good culture right now, honestly. This year will be a learning lesson for many, including what not to do. Yeah, well, I think that half the team is probably like, you're an idiot. And we all knew that this is a stupid thing to do. I don't think Scotty's dumb enough to get involved in betting culture. I mean, seriously, he's got people around him that are protecting him and looking out for him because he knows he's going to be making a lot of money. And, Nick could be next to him and say, Scott, you shouldn't make any bets. This is a really bad thing. This could be a really bad thing for you. So I think that the whole idea that some of the dumbasses come in here saying that there's a culture of this around our team are idiots. Because I think this is a very one-person case. And I think Gary Trent Jr., having a father like Gary Trent Sr. is like, yeah, you shouldn't do that, Jr. And a lot of our players have good people behind them that are smart. You think Carmen Dick is talking to Grady about betting stuff? Yeah, probably. She's probably saying, Grady, you should never, ever start getting into gambling because it's a slippery slope and it could really, really screw up your very good career and all the things you worked hard for. That's the thing right there. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying Lex does more reading in one day than I have in my entire life. Seymour, I'm gonna give you a dunk for that one. That is hilarious too. All right, you're at 40 now, my guy. You got 40, a straight 40. That's nice. Let's see. David's saying reading things is brutal. Yeah, some of the stuff I read on here is brutal for sure. Monique saying stars of the game: JFL, Kobe. Thrilled for Kobe. Grady continues to amaze me. So you're picking Grady with them. I picked Dennis, Monique. I put Dennis Schroeder as one of our stars of the game. That's funny. Yeah, Tom, get that tank out of here as soon as possible. Seriously, you could do it right now and I'd be happy. I can't believe you made that. It's everything I hate about that. There's 3 things I hate about that. I hate the tank. I hate Jonte Porter. But I will say this. All right, you're using the color purple, and we know how I've talked about the color purple. But guys, today is a purple day. And it's a very special day to me and Adriana because today's Purple Day is Epilepsy Awareness Day. So I'm going to do my part on the channel real quick to talk about awareness of epilepsy. And one thing I want to say right now is that one of the things I've shared often before that people don't understand about epilepsy is that you're not supposed to put something in their mouth to not bite their tongue. That is something that is said in media before. But that's not totally helpful. And also, in some ways, you got to really just kind of watch out for someone who's having a seizure near you in public. Like if they're gonna walk out into traffic, maybe you can like guide them away from the traffic. If you see them on the ground, kind of banging against the floor with their limbs or something because they're having a bad seizure, maybe you can try and get your hand underneath them to kind of lessen the hurt or something. I don't know. Do something to try and help them. But the most important thing to do with somebody who's having an epileptic seizure is to kind of just watch out for them and let them let it go by and get past. Sometimes with epilepsy, you do not need to call the hospital or an ambulance. And people with epilepsy have to deal with this on a daily basis. They don't want you to call the ambulance if it's just a normal seizure. Sometimes people overreact in public and they call the ambulance. Or if you're on the subway and you see somebody having a seizure, don't press the yellow thing. It's not an emergency where you need to stop the whole fucking subway and mess up everybody's commute. So, in any way I can help with epilepsy awareness, I'm going to help you guys with how to deal with somebody who's having an epileptic seizure in public. Just look out for their safety while they're doing it. If you can, if you don't want to, that's fine too. Live your life. But also, look out for people that may be trying to rob them while they're having a seizure and they can't defend themselves. And also, don't call the ambulance and do not hit the emergency thing on there. It will pass. And when they're back and they're fine and the ambulance shows up, it's just a bad scene and they feel bad about it. And you make a seizure even worse by doing that. So just a little more awareness about epilepsy on Purple Day today. That's what I'm doing right there. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying the way he does the trivia card, I feel like it went to Florida State. He went to Florida State University, right in the full name, no errors. Thanks, Lex. All right, Seymour, you're hilarious. You're rivaling Kareem today for. I'm going to give you a 43. You're getting a 3-pointer for that because you brought up Florida State, my alma mater, and that was pretty hilarious. So you got the Siakam number now, guy. I love it. G saying we will draft Zach Edey and our center situation will be golden. Well, now I feel like it is more likely we're going to get a center since Jonte done his stupid shit. Carlos saying Raptors Moments has Jonte's Discord screenshots on his Twitter. Damning stuff. All right, I'm going to go look at that after this, Carlo. Thanks for the tip. And yeah, I'll look and see what it's all about. Yeah, yikes. Most saying, hate the word tanking, Tom. Seriously. Yeah, see, Tom, we don't want to see that little emblem that's on there. In some ways, there's a very brief period right now we're going to use this word on this channel, but otherwise we don't use it normally. And Monique and I are not happy with the tanking or any of that kind of stuff right now. Smooth saying, what hurts me is that Porter is already elite. He has an NBA job, already so close to a big contract. 10 and 4 gets you paid, man. Heck, 8 and 6 gets it done. Disgusting. Yeah, he threw it all away. Short-sightedness and stupidity is what he did. Davis saying, no need to use the word, Mo. That's right. That's right. And yeah, Davis got that one emoticon. I'm not cool with it, Tom. I know you probably worked hard on making it and stuff, but I hate that thing so much. I really do. James is saying Jonte is going to be playing for Shanghai Sharks next season. If he even plays basketball ever again. In some ways, you got to think about this way. Even if he plays overseas, he's going to get shit from people in crowds because he's world famous now. And he'll be notorious for this. In some ways, you're better off to just go ahead and leave the game, Jonte, and go ahead. The decision's been made now. You should go ahead and take your financial concerns. You know what? Fuck it. Go ahead and lean right into the dark side. Go ahead and be betting like crazy now because you're freed up to do it because you're probably never going to be in the NBA again. And you have the right as a public citizen to bet on the NBA. So, well, you get what you want. You wanted an NBA career or did you want a betting career? Well, you got a betting career, you dumbass, because you fucked up, you dumbass. That's awesome. Good for him. Carlos saying we're going to see a Netflix doc about this in the future. That's for damn sure, Carlo. You're right. And we're going to find out what's going on. And Nick, David saying that's cool. Produced by Nick Nurse. Nah, Nick Nurse. Fuck that guy. Most saying, David, I didn't know there was an emoji for it. My bad. Yeah, he made that one today, and I'm not happy with Tom for doing that because honestly, I hate that shit. Yeah. Let's see. David's saying just for you, Mo, so we don't need to use the name. All right. Now, no, I don't like that. I don't want to use it. I don't like it. It's got to go. Let's see. David's saying, laugh out loud. Oh my God, you're still here. Oh yeah, that idiot. Yeah, I kicked him out, but he just jumps in for little stupid things. But no, I'm not reading his comments. Let's see. David's saying this guy is bonkers, man. Nameless is saying Jonte chose the under because it was the easiest viable to control. That's right. Seymour's saying I'm not even gonna boot him, save him for the boss. I got him. David's saying when the shit goes down, you better be ready. Okay, yeah, Cypress Hill. David, you want me to get a point for that? I get a dunk for getting that. When the shit goes down, you better be ready. That's Cypress Hill, my guy. You can't ask music questions with Lex. We could play. You guys ever watch the show Stump the Schwab? It used to be on ESPN back in the day. He's a sports expert, and you could ask him any sports question. He'd know the answer. Well, I'm Stump the Lex on music. Y'all can give me music questions anytime, David. You want to test me like that? I will get it. So, yeah, Lex is getting a dunk for that. I'm at 20, y'all. I got 20 dunks. Yes. Yes. Yeah, of course I know that's Cypress Hill. Come on now. Smooth saying this is all over the news down south. An embarrassment for the Raptors. Embarrassment for Jonte Porter. And otherwise, I'm not taking on that rest of that shit. Other people can try and put it on us, but that doesn't mean we need to wear that suit. You think Darko's getting up this morning feeling like he's a gambling addict? No, he's not. He's going to practice today, and he's going to practice this team like he normally does any other day. You know, people can say all the shit they want to. It's like Bonnie Raitt said, let's give them something to talk about. But who cares what they're talking about? It's all bullshit anyway. It's not like ESPN or anything like that matters to us. Remember, we've always said ESPN's full of shit, and who cares? They're a media machine. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. People down there want to get all into the CNN news cycle of, oh my gosh, breaking news. Jonte Porter is a gambling addict. They can get into that, but I have my power and focus in my own life. I'll deal with the things I deal with on my everyday life, like work and other things I've got to do. And I'm not going to get all caught up in this. I don't give a shit. The Raptors still play games. We're losing on purpose. We're trying to get the fuck out of this season. And, this is going to go into the horizon and the rearview mirror more and more, and it's not going to be a problem. Trust me. The people right now are trying to jump on it and make it more of a problem. And, saying it's embarrassment for the Raptors. Well, is it really? If people that already want to kind of dump on us, they'll jump on it. But for people like us, we can hold our head high. We didn't do anything wrong. Jonte did. That's what I say right there. David's saying, hey, man, any media is good media. I don't know if that's totally true. Logical saying, I don't know Snoopy, but Goku is a delusional Braun fan. I'm certain that he's like a teenager from the points he makes. NBA TMZ Vulture. Yeah, Mike, they're both gone. I'm going to say this in no cartoon character area. Darko said that he's not on social media last night in the post-game presser. And I'm wondering, well, were you on YouTube last summer, Darko? That would have been fun if you were on YouTube before then. Cowboy saying, give him a cookie, David, before Lex puts him in the closet. Laugh out loud. Yeah, he's gone. Seymour saying, logical with a rim-breaking dunk. All right, yeah, we'll give logical a dunk. I'm going to give him a three-pointer for that one. You're getting a 9. You're a Serge Ibaka 9 now, Mike. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like him coming in and saying that. Cowboy's saying Cypress Hill, so he got the answer right, too. Carlo is saying pretty damning stuff on Twitter. Jonte screenshots. Woo, this boy guilty. Well, he's obviously a dumbass. His IQ is not very high, and it's sad because his basketball IQ is very high, but his IQ was not high, obviously. Name is saying, I didn't want Porter long-term anyways. He had 0 vertical in and around the rim. How are you 6'11" and not a lob threat or able to finish around the rim? That man can't jump. Well, it's called tearing your ACL a couple times. He tore his ACL like 2 years in a row, nameless. I don't know where he was before that. He may have had more ups, but he has leg injuries, and that's part of the reason why he's gravity chained. And it's just so you know, there's a little putting it out there. Let's see. You didn't want him long term. I did because I saw the fruits of and how he fit with our other centers. He's the kind of center that's a really good passing center, just like Kelly and Jakob. And we have that type right now. We want centers that can pass really well. And that's part of the reason why Jonte was really fitting in for the future until his stupid ass shit. Yeah. Carlos saying accomplices. What the fuck? Accomplices? Okay, that guy's talking about we have accomplices. He's an idiot. Name is saying Jonte Porter's knees are the proverbial shot. That's what we were just talking about, Nameless. Seymour saying you're more like what comes out of a raptor and attracts flies. Good one, Seymour. I'm going to give you a point for that. Yeah, Snoopy Doggy Doo-Doo. Snoopy Doggy Doo-Doo. Doo-Doo Doo-Doo Doo-Doo. Yeah. All right, so Seymour, you're going to get a dunk. Man, you're cleaning up today, Seymour. You're actually doing really good. You've got 44 now. The old number of – no, whose number is that? I don't remember 44. I'm trying to remember 44. Let's see. G saying, I truly think it was just Jonte. It was just on his bets, and he would be risky for him to involve someone in the organization, considering he's not that close to anyone being new. 905 to the Raptors, etc. Well, I'll say this. The closest person to Jonte on the Raptors is Javon Freeman Liberty, and that was evidenced in the open gym. So if they're going to go investigate anybody in the Raptors, go talk to Javon first. And probably you won't have to talk to anybody else. He'd be like, yeah, that's crazy. I would never do that. And he's stupid for doing that. I've worked too hard in my life to mess it up with any kind of betting scandal. No, there's no accomplices. And this is just somebody trying to get buckshot shot on our team to get a lot of people in trouble. And there's just no merit to that. There's really isn't. Yeah. Let's see. Smooth saying Porter has the skills to average 10-4. He did not have to be involved in this shit. I know he's stupid. He's a dumb guy. He's a dumb guy. Next, Dino up. That's right. Carlos saying it looks like Jonte gives betting picks to his Discord patrons, even investment and crypto advice. Okay, yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. David saying, we know, 10-4, 8 says a job. We agree. Yep. And Carlos saying NBA script writers so mean to us this year. I don't know how you write this script. I think this is just like the story of this year. And this is just a crazy ass year in our franchise. In some ways, we're a survival kind of team, and we're going to get through this. We got through Tampa. We got through a lot of stuff, and we'll get another championship. And everybody will be like, damn it, the Raptors won again. Don't worry. We're going to make it through this, Carlo. Just believe. And script writers, and they can't write this. Jonte wrote this, the dumbass. That is a dumb ass. Yeah. And all right, let's see. Tom Duke saying, so mean. James is saying, what do you think about Kel'el Ware? He should be available for an Indiana pick. Mobile big man with shot blocking with outside shot. James, I only do one scout a day, and I already did PJ Hall. Bring up his name on another stream and put him up first, and I'll take a look at him at another time. I haven't looked at him ever at all. Mike saying, I heard the actions in question about leaving those 2 games early. I don't know the evidence against him personally, betting against himself. I'm hoping he's innocent of things. Ultimately, the Raps are okay. Yeah, I think Mike's exactly right. He's not innocent. I will agree with that. He's probably very guilty. I'm saying that. I think it's true. Seymour saying, I think Oshai is a keeper. I'm with you on that. Let's see. Tom Duke saying Masai's got to be shaking his head, laughing or crying. No, Masai, listen, he's a G. We know we know Masai's going to do what he's going to do. And you think that man's crying? No. You think he's laughing? No. He's very serious. He's doing his job is what he's doing. Yeah. Tom, come on, man. Let's see. Smooth saying the Raptors front office gets mess on their hands because of this. I don't think so. Y'all don't make it worse than it seems. You're going in the direction like our idiots that are here too. Name is saying Kelly O was an upgrade on Jonte, which made him expendable, in my opinion. Now, Kelly's definitely better than Jonte with the experience and the time served in the league. Yeah. But I mean, we could have had depth at the position. Nameless is what I would say. Cowboy saying Abaji is a keeper for sure. Yeah, I'm behind you on that. David saying, okay, Copper Top. David saying, Messiah clown named Snoopy wants you to drop everything and make a public service announcement. Well, this might not hurt, honestly. It might not hurt to have somebody from our franchise come out and say an official statement about what's happened. If Bobby or Masai come out in the next day or so and they say that, basically they got to do it in the right order of things. There has to be the right thing of justice as far as they got to investigate. Then if he's in trouble, then he's actually guilty. Then we'll come out and we'll distance ourselves and we'll say something like, you know what, this guy is, a problem. We do not condone this in our franchise, and we will be not allowing, we will be very, very vigilant about not having this ever happen again. And that's what will happen. I think that there will be a press conference, but it might not happen right away. It may happen in the right order of things as far as okay, this has happened and this has happened and this has happened. So let's see. Carlos saying it looks like we're going to have a roster spot open soon. Well, who do you think you guys want to fill that? Well, I say happy birthday, Justice Winslow. Here's your next 10-day or 2-way. If not him, I would say maybe Kevin O'Banner. That is if we're looking at our G League team. There may be players around the G League that are more interesting as far as things. Now, if you're replacing the size of Jonte, you got to get another big. So I'm looking at bigs, and I'm saying either on our G League team, Maker, McCurr, Kevin O'Banner, or Justice Winslow. But if we look other places, it could be somebody totally different. Jonte's premature exit just cleared the floor for Zach Edey. Yeah, I could get behind that. Seymour saying it's spring break, so beware of the kids in here. So there's children in here right now. All right, let's see. Monique is saying, happy to see RJ and IQ on the bench smiling at times. Yeah, I'm really glad to see them return. And if they're feeling good enough to be able to be around the team, that's fantastic. And in the future, hopefully they'll play tomorrow, Mo. I could speculate that we're going to have Quickly and Barrett back for the Knicks. It just makes sense. They're gonna want to play against their old team and get back out there. So yeah. Names is saying we're watching some historic crap here with our beloved franchise, and I'm enjoying every moment of it because when it's all said and done, I can say I was a part of it. Well, this is what I'm going to say right now. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And this isn't going to kill the Raptors franchise. As much as our two little idiot friends that are with us today would like that, that's not what's going to happen. In some ways, this will make us stronger in the long run. I believe that. I really do. David's saying, you can just open new windows on the same computer. You don't need 4 devices, my guy. I don't even know what you're talking about, David. That's hilarious. Oh, that's you want to get me to give an alley-oop to him? Yeah, just tell these casual idiot dumbass motherfuckers just simple things. 52 card pickup, David. You're at 52. That's all right. People are getting dunks today. Let's see. Of course. Cowboys laughing. And Mike is saying, Goku, explain your evidence. You make statements without any explanation all the time. Usually you're calling people haters, laugh out loud. Yeah, either way, I'm not reading Goku, so I don't even know what he's saying, guys. And Seymour's saying, leave me out of it. He put your name in his mouth? You should slap the shit out of his mouth and say, that my name should never be in your mouth again. That's what I would do, Sheriff. Sheriff Seymour Pape. That's right. G saying, we all handle things differently. Some through humor, some venting, some hoping for the best, etc. It's all good unless trolling. This guy's an idiot. He's not going to tell me how I do my channel. He can fuck right off. He can eat shit and die for all I care. You can eat your own shit like a dog would. Snoopy and Goku. Yeah, it's so funny how these guys show up all of a sudden. I've never seen y'all in my chat hardly ever. Snoopy would pop in every once in a while. I make a little joke about peanuts, and that's it. Goku, I've seen you maybe once, never, but Mike's familiar with you. Yeah, you guys, whoever you guys are, you're not fucking Raptor freaks. You're not with us in our group. And honestly, you guys will never show up on here ever again. Watch, because that's how it works. Let's see. MSJ saying this season is in simple metaphor, being hit in the face by a prison milkshake. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, Chris. I don't know. I don't get that saying. I've never heard that. Is that a metaphor? Seriously? Carlos saying, yeah, that's why NBA is investigating this, but it is about a two-way player who doesn't even have a standard contract. Yeah, exactly. We'll figure it out. He's totally guilty on his own. He has nothing to do with us. Let's see. Mo saying, just when you thought the Raptors season had it all. Well, that's what I was trying to tell Chris. Don't say it can't get worse, because in some ways this is worse, because it's just an unnecessary media circus. And obviously we see idiots are jumping on it. So let's see. Carlos saying, as someone said, this has been the Thad Young and the Restless. No, the joke was it's Thad Young and the rest of us is this soap opera of the year or something like that. Yeah, David's saying, Snoopy, please seek help. It's not the end of the world, dude. Yeah, these people are over dramatic and they're just trying to be little shit disturbers. Tom saying, always look at the bright side of life. Yeah, we can do that, Tom. Seymour saying, who said it couldn't get any worse? That's right. That was Chris that said that. And I was like, don't do that. Seriously. Carlos saying, it's not end of the season, yet more things might come. Laugh out loud. Well, let's not wish any more things or anything like that. There's 11 games to go. And, well, we'll just play it out. We'll see how it goes. One game at a time. We can only do what we can do. We can only control what we can control. And, whatever's happening, who cares? Our focus is on continuing to work with Coach Darko and establishing his culture and foundation of what's going on. And everything that's extra and going on around us is not actually what's happening. It's just bullshit that people are putting in our face right now. That's it. Seymour saying, I love this team through thick and thin. That's right. We didn't do anything wrong. Jonte Porter did something wrong. And if people want to get upset at him, I'm fully supportive with you. If you think that he's a fucking piece of shit for doing this, I'm fully supportive with you. If you don't like gamblers or people spending on sports, I'm fully supporting with you. I will go after him the way I need to, and I will. That's right. Trevor J saying Celtics blew a 30-point lead. That's awesome. Mo saying in Masai we trust. And just for that, I'm going to give Monique a dunk, because that's a very simple truth right there. Monique Lawrence, you're getting a three-pointer. You got a Jemias Ramsey number 29 right now is what you got. That's not his right number. He's 30. He's 37. I got the wrong number. Sorry. It's not Jemias Ramsey. I don't know who's 29. Let's see. Mischief saying, I'm cool with tanking. We need another good draft pick like Scotty. Okay. David saying, haha, fuck you, Snoopy. What do you own? Goddamn money. It's my business. Go fuck yourself, pal. I love it, David. You're awesome. Nako saying, I like Kyle Flipowski more than Zach Edey. Both are interesting prospects. Draft night's going to be interesting. Is Kyle taller than Zach, though? I want that 7-4, Nako. That's a big part of why I like Zach is the 7-4. David said, I criticize you because you think you're a moron. That's all. Okay, he's talking to one of our trolls. Seymour said, I got to do my research. Nako saying, PJ is like a diamond in the rough, second rounder. All right, we'll see. He may be undrafted, maybe a pickup later. Seymour saying, Nako, that's the guy who got hurt by all them fans. Yeah, I don't know the story about that. Mike saying Scotty and Grady are a solid start to the Raptors drafted guys. We need to add like 2 guys this year if we can, then build support with the Oshais and other prospects. Yeah, that sounds about right, Mike. Like, obviously, we'll get somebody in the draft, and we probably get another free agent on the outside, or we get 2 draft picks. I don't know. I really do want you to be around this summer, especially around draft time, Mike. If you can, please participate with us because you are so informative and helpful. You seriously are. Let's see. Logical, you know it. Yeah, we love Logical Raptors Fanatic. Trevor's still talking about the Celtics. Celtics is the second team in the last 25 seasons to blow a 30-point lead. All right, that's a nice fact. I like that, Trevor J. I'm going to give you a dunk for bringing me fun facts about the Celtics failures. That's awesome. Let's give you actually a 3-pointer. You're a Muggsy Bogues 14 now, just like the jersey behind me. Yeah. Let's see. Stargate saying, when I see new names in the chat spouting nonsensical foolishness, I get suspicious. Snoopy is on my possible troll radar. He is. If you see him in other places, Stargate, you know. When they're known, they're known. We'll find out. When they come here, we can see if they're real ones or not. And exactly, you're right. When new names come in here and start spouting bullshit, yeah, we can clean that up real quick. Carlos said, I wanted Cason Wallace for the Raps so bad last year. He was one of my top choices too. Carlo, he really was. I really wanted him instead of Grady, and that was one of the people I was like, it was him and Jordan Hawkins that was extremely big on at the beginning of the year at the draft. Nako saying Seymour not seeing anything on Google saying anything about him being hurt by fans. It was Cason or Grady, okay, that he wanted drafted. Seymour saying look up his game against Wake Forest. Them fans rushed him. All right, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, let's see. Cowboys saying later, Lex and Freaks. All right, thank you, Tada. Yeah, Tada Services, guys. If you need help around your house, Bradley will come and help you. 647-833-6844. He cleans windows. He cleans carpets. He cleans area rugs. He'll clean your tile and grout. He can get up there and do the duct cleaning that those weird people call you about all the time. Just so you don't have those people calling, you could say, hey, I don't need duct cleaning. Tada came to my house and they took care of it for me. 647-833-6844. If you want to call Bradley, he can come and help you in Toronto. Let's see. Let's go. And Mike's saying you got to check the wording on Woj reports. He's very transparent from the language he uses. The NBA is investigating, so-and-so means they are investigating and nothing is proven yet. Exactly. There's a lot of presupposing. There's a lot of like jumping to conclusions ahead of things. That's why it's really important, media people, to really be smart about how you say things. You can really do damage and mischaracterize things with just the wrong choice of one word. And this is so true. Mike's right. You got to read everything that is written and really read it clearly. In some ways, there's people out there that are writing stories that are misleading on purpose, and they will write them in a certain way to make you think something that is not true. And they will say, oh, but it's technically true, but it's misleading. So everything needs to be sussed out at this point, whether it's AI images, whether it's the motives of who's writing what or whatever's happening. Everything needs to be looked at with wide open eyes and scrutinized with a thought process of critical thinking. And the problem is that we're not teaching young people critical thinking enough. Maybe they're looking at Google too much and relying on Googling things, whereas sometimes the most necessary thing is just use your common sense and use critical thinking to figure things out. Mike is a very good critical thinker. He's the epitome of it right there. Fiercey's got me at 11-13. I like it. And I'm way over 12. I'm going to go on the Lexathon. It's cool. Seymour saying, Fiercey, let Jillian know she's truly missed. And we hope all is well. And congratulations to your daughter's second place finish. Yeah, Jill, I don't know. Jill and I don't get along. Jill's a great person. I love Jill, but she, in some ways, I don't really like her being in the chat. I'm going to be honest. And even if she watches this later, I feel bad. If I've hurt your feelings recently, Jill, I'm sorry. But in some ways, feel like it's true that your personality and my personality do not get along. You have a certain way of being about yourself, a shit disturber, that's just not necessary for my chat. And in some ways, I like you. I like your passion for the team. I like your enthusiasm. but in some ways, you've been more of a distraction than helpful. And in some ways, if Jill doesn't come back, it's all right, guys. But if she does come back, I'll welcome her back. I'm very happy to see her. It's just I want her to conform to what we're doing on this channel better. And I feel like she's just a shit disturber. And in some ways, she does stuff that's unnecessary that makes me mad. And in some ways, she overreacts to things in our Facebook chat that absolutely makes me pissed off. And she annoys the hell out of me. It's the kind of thing where sometimes personalities just don't click. Well, Jill's personality doesn't click with my personality. And in some ways, if she's not around anymore, that's part of the reason why, guys. Just so you know. Fiercely saying thank you. And ditto. And Fiercely saying, I can't reach Jillian. I had sent her a message via Messenger to coordinate carpooling to come to Toronto, but no answer. Yeah, I feel bad about that. If she does come, and look, if we meet in person, I'll try and be on my best behavior and try and be a good person in this. But I just get this feeling that like her vibes, the way she carries herself, in some ways, the way she looks at the world, it just doesn't line up with me. And in some ways, like us being around each other may just be really awkward and kind of like cringe is what I'm saying. Like when she suggested the other day she wanted to do Zoom for this stream with people in boxes, I know she fully had it in her mind that she'd be a box in the screen with me. And me envisioning that was a nightmare because it's like, I already see how you fucking run my chat all over the place in the weird places. Putting you on screen with your face and you jumping in. No, that's in the wrong direction. First of all, I needed to rein it in the first place with what she was doing on the chat. I'm damn for sure not putting her on screen with Zoom. At that point, I mean, that's a big part of it right there. Mischief saying, just as we get Jonte Porter, he might be on his way out. There's center we can sign in free agency is Nicholas Claxton and Jalen Smith. I don't mind either one of those options, Jay. And if you're down in Miami still, I hope you're getting those sunshine, my guy. Seymour saying, hope she's okay. I hope Jill's okay too. I wish her so well. And in some ways, I can't help it if her and I's personalities don't mix. I hate it because I've tried to work with her a lot of times. And she's left and come back. But it comes back to the same shit. She's too much crosstalk. She's trying to be a social butterfly. In some ways, she's really wrapped up in herself and worrying about this and this, about this and this. And it bugs me. She used to send me critiques, y'all, after my streams that were like 5 pages long telling me everything I fucking did wrong on my channel. So you got to understand, I've really been giving her a benefit of the doubt and trying to be accepting of her because she is a Raptor freak. She is somebody who very much is a positive Raptor fan. But in some ways, we're oil and water. And that's all I got to say about it in that way. Yeah. I hope she's okay, too. And I don't wish anything wrong for her. I really like her. I like her as a person. It's just that our personalities don't get along. Mike's saying people are fine with the Raptors at the moment. When mentioned, it's about good progress with rebuilding. This Jonte stuff won't change people's opinions on the rebuild. RJ Quickly and Scotty are seen as good. Yeah, it doesn't even matter who some of these perceptions are, like the idiots that have been in here with us. This is the thing. Like we said, Garrett's been on a team that's lost like this before, and it's been depressing and sad. That's not what's happening with this team. We're enthusiastic. We're showing up the practices. We're working hard. Nobody's giving up. The body language isn't bad. We're seeing people smiling. Some people may mistake that as, oh, we're accepting losing. No, there's just that they're intelligent enough to know that our injuries and people missing are not adding up to winning right now. But they know the future is bright when these guys return next season, namely Scotty. So, I mean, if these guys are intelligent enough to understand it from the inside, why the fuck would they be so upset, unhappy? People, once again, can have their crazy-ass opinions about where the Raptors are going to be, but I'll listen to an educated opinion like Alvin Williams on the broadcast saying, you know, with these guys coming back next year and they're healthy and the things that Darko's established in this first year, I say this team's going to be a playoff team next year. That's what Alvin said in the game last night. And Alvin Williams ain't going to say that shit. Once again, it's reputation and whether you sound like you know what you're talking about. If Alvin Williams is projecting the Raptors healthy next year with everybody back and some moves and different things, we could be a playoff team next year. I believe him, and I agree with him. So other people's perceptions around the NBA, whether it's ESPN, whether it's U.S. fans, whether it's people on TSN up here, it don't mean jack shit. The reality will be the reality when the games get played next year. That's what I will say about that. All right, let me see. All right, let me make sure I'm on the right spot. Carlos saying, yeah, logical. I'm so looking forward to the Scotty and Darko era. This exciting play style and those promising players in barbecue. I am too. There's so much to be grateful for and looking forward to and appreciative amongst all this confusing bullshit right now. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. I'm watching our team intensely to see development. The losses are to our favor. I hope we get to keep our top pick this year. Well, we got a 70% chance to keep it now. It went from 40 to 50% to 70% as of last night, Randolph. So that's really good. It's going in the right direction. In some ways, we won last night. That would have went down and maybe underneath 50. So now it's at 70%. And that's really, really good. Really, really good. Mike saying Kelly is talked about as a great pickup for the Raptors. The only negative I have heard from a delusional fan is that we don't like to pay our players, but smarter fans understand what happened with Fred VanVleet. Yeah, we can go over that stuff from last year, Mike. Of course, you were around for all this stuff with Fred and talking about what he'd made the decision to take the money. I mean, that's generational wealth. That's the decision he has to take. It's not even about the Raptors. If he could have done that with the Raptors, he would have stayed here. But Bobby and Masai were going to give him $30 million a year. And when Houston said 43, he can't pass that money up. And I don't blame him for that. I'm really proud of Fred for his late season push right now to make the play in. And I want those guys to do it. I want them to upend either the Lakers, the Warriors out of the play-in. So you go Rockets. I'm very, very proud of Fred and the work he's done on the Rockets this season. He has proven all the haters of him last year to be stupid. He has made a bottom-feeding team into a possible play-in team very soon, and he has been an absolute success in Houston. I did not know whether he would be a success there or they do well, but he has been. He's been excellent with Sengun. He's really made Jalen Green blossom recently. He's very much helping those young players down there, and he's doing exactly what he was supposed to do. In some ways, people will look at the $43 million that Fred makes a year and say, is he worth it? Well, he is. He's absolutely worth it. He's making that money. You can go ask Rocket fans right now. They're upset about how much they're paying Fred VanVleet, and they're not. Most of them are not. There may be some idiots down there like the Fred haters up here. They call him a shot-chucking munchkin, but they're probably not as many as the people that really love and value him for helping the Rockets come back up in the standings and be a possible play-in team this year. So, yeah, Mike, your standing for Fred last year is noted and still very much appreciated. In the fight that you and I did against the Fred hate last year, you were one of the top soldiers that helped me in that. I know. And those delusional fans, they can think whatever the fuck they want. Now, Kelly, it's a similar thing. When we look at Kelly's money and what we're paying him, it's pretty static. It's not like he's getting a huge amount, but it's a fair price for him. And there's a lot of intangibles and a lot of good things about Kelly being on our team. I mean, the whole connection between him being from Toronto and playing for this team and seeing Arlene Olynyk crying and talking about the dream of Kelly playing on the Raptors coming to fruition right now. That's special and just beautiful in its own way. Once again, the Canadian factor of Kelly and the way that he plays a hybrid of hockey basketball is fun for Canadians to watch. So there's all kinds of pluses for Kelly to be on that team. Casuals don't like him being on the team. They're idiots. They are idiots. Yeah. Carlos saying cartoon character acting up today. That's right. We got to cancel our subscription to the Cartoon Network right now. These motherfuckers. That's right. Yeah. What does lull mean? That's like a laugh out loud something or something like that. It's Twitcher mode. It's a certain face. Okay. Most saying, I feel like this is the Jonte episode. We need to talk about it, but I'm bummed. Raptors forever regardless. Go Raptors. Monique, you have my heart as a real Raptors fan, a truly passionate, real one forever. And yeah, we're bummed about this too. This was a curveball. We didn't expect this shit to break news yesterday. It is what it is. We deal with it and we go forward. Race Mode saying, I woke up last night and the first alert I get is this insane news on prop betting. Betting between players still happens and even 23 is an addict. JP is a new level of dumb if the story is true. Is it November yet? Race Mode Daily, always good to see you on your travels. And I'm going to give you a dunk for being funny. And yeah, you're on different time schedules since you're over in Asia. And yeah, Race Mode Daily, you probably didn't see this until like after everybody else. I'm going to give you a dunk. You got an RJ Barrett 9, my guy. You got an RJ Barrett 9. Let's see. Carlos saying it looks like Jonte was positioning himself to be like an investment crypto guru along with his sports connections. Yeah, idiot. Absolute idiot. And that's why people would say like, what is you're a financial genius? Yeah, but you're a dumbass and NBA player. That's for sure. Nameless saying Lex is in a mood this morning. More. Somebody else say something delicious and ridiculous. Nameless, you're funny, man. Yeah. Hey, Lex, the Raptors stink. Okay. Nameless, God damn it. I know. We're supposed to. In some ways, I want us to right now, Nameless. It's so anti-me. You know, I'm not about tanking. You know, I don't like losing. But right now, winning is losing. And we have to lose right now. So I'm all about it. So, yes, we do stink. Smooth saying onboarding is a corporate term for new hires. Okay. See, it made me think of like Carnival Cruise Lines. Like we're onboarding the Carnival ship or something like that. Okay. All right. I'm not in corporate world, so I wouldn't know that. I'm definitely not in corporate world. So please forgive me, Smooth, for not knowing that term. And I appreciate you, man. You're one of my favorites. Nako saying Jonte probably has that Jordan Belford mindset, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, he does. I think he does. I think you're right. Street smart versus book smart. Yeah, I don't know if there's street smart in Jonte. Seymour saying Jonte crash out Porter. Man, it sucks. It sucks. We gonna make a joke out of him. It's all right for Raptors fans to make a joke out of this because he's made a joke out of his own career. Trevor saying ESPN are saying Jonte Porter was never on the entry list for the past 2 years, past 2 games until minutes before the game started betting irregularities over past several months. Oh crap! Yeah, Tom, it's all good. I don't want to get mad at you. I just hate that emoticon so much. Ha ha. Have a good day. We love you, Tommy. I apologize, man. I know you put some work into it, but man, I don't want to celebrate that. I don't want these guys throwing that in my face because every time I see it, I get angry. How about that? Race was saying limited time only. Yeah, you guys had the fun with the Jonte Tank emoticon for that little bit of time. Fiercely saying, yes, Smooth. That's the term we use at my workplace for new hires indeed. Thanks, Lex, Bruce, and Nako for the Discord explanation. W stream, fam. W stream to you, Fiercely. We love you. Nameless saying the Raptors have become the league's bad boys, starting with that lawsuit beef. I dig it. That's right. Oh, we bad, baby. We bad. That's like making me think of Stir Crazy, the classic comedy of Pryor and Wilder, where they're in jail. And they're walking into the jail, and everybody's looking at him. And Gene Wilder starts saying, "Oh, we bad," because he's scared they're gonna beat him up. So he starts saying, "We bad." Y'all know the scene I'm talking about. Y'all love Richard Pryor. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Logical saying Javon Freeman Liberty is signed for 2 years. All right, Mike looked it up. First year is a rest of the season contract for $289,000. Second year is partially guaranteed, so 100K guaranteed no matter what. He gets 150 after August 23rd. So they paid him for the rest of the season, and then he's under contract, partially guaranteed next year. Okay, so either way, he's going to get 100K next year, no matter what, whether he makes the roster or not. Mike, thanks for illuminating the situation. Mike saying 800,000 at opening night, then fully guaranteed on January 10th for 1.89 million total. Well, he's got to make the team. We'll see how things go. Logical Raptors tonight. Thanks for being a fact checker and informative person once again. Randolph saying, Lex, that ship was huge with hundreds of containers on board. A direct hit like that can destroy even a newly built bridge. I don't know any of the details. You guys gave me the breaking news on here. I haven't seen anything other than what y'all are telling me. I could only speculate on what I was saying. Still, infrastructure and oversight's probably in trouble for this. Whether it's the oversight of the boats and where they're going, that container ship should have not been doing that. Maybe, I'll always say there's cutting corners for profit somewhere, and there may be some sort of safeguard that got taken out of the picture at some point. We hear this in the story at some point that like the train disaster in Ohio, that safeguards were taken for profit out of the system. And this could have been avoided if there was a safeguard. Well, we'll understand what the culprit is. So I don't know. Well, I'll find out more about it. But Randolph, thanks for giving me more of the pieces of the puzzle. Chris is saying GFL better learn to shoot a three. A lot of money there. That's right. That is a big thing. Now, Chris, I'm going to say this. If JFL just makes a lot of his threes, I'll come around on him. There is a route for him, for me to be okay with him and start saying, okay, but I'm going to be really hard on him. I'm going to tell you that right now. But there is a route, and that is a start right there. If he can shoot that three a lot better, that will make me like him more. Mike's saying opening night, he gets like half guaranteed. Then January 10th, he gets the rest. It's like pay for play contract. Well, it seems like a smart one to put the carrot in front of him and get him motivated. Fiercely saying Epilepsy Awareness Day. My aunt also has that condition. Yeah, it is something that is a lot more common than people think. Yeah. MSJ saying, Tom, make a JFL symbol. Yeah, you know what? You can make a JFL emoticon. And Adriana's here saying, thank you for recognizing Purple Day. I did it because of you, Adriana, and I love you very much. And I feel like it's very important for us to recognize and be more aware of epilepsy. Chris is saying, music question. Who became the first all-female band in history to write and play their own instruments on a #1 album? Well, this is open-ended. You're really asking a kind of crazy question because you're not giving me the genre. In some ways, that may matter. Like, what do you consider a band, Chris? Is what I'm gonna say. What do you consider a band? Like, if I said something like the Supremes, would that be right? If I said the Supremes or there's some sort of girl group back in the day. You know what? Adriana might know this answer. Adriana, if you know this answer and you're still watching, can you put in the answer of this? Because she knows the older stuff better. Like when we do music trivia, I know the more recent stuff and like the classic rock and the 80s and the 90s. And she knows like the 50s and the 60s kind of more than I do. So she might know this better. Who became the first all female band in history to write and play their own instruments on a #1 album? It's probably somebody like some sort of sisters, like the Andrews sisters or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Chris, give me the answer. You might have stumped me. You might have stumped the Schwab. Mike saying, yes, Goku is on other basketball streams, and I cook him a ton on Delusional Brawn takes. There you go, Mike. Cook away. Cook, and cook some more. Mischief saying, I got free tickets for the Raptors game tomorrow. Yeah, that's probably easy to get right now. They were selling tickets yesterday for the game against the Nets for $30. There were some $30 tickets floating around in the upper bowl. You could have gone to the game for cheap. And this is good. In some ways, this is good, allowing people that may not afford regular tickets, they're going to get a chance to go to games, even if the games are shitty. But at least somebody may get a chance to go to a Raptors game right now because the prices are a little lower right now. Yeah. 5-page critique. 5-page critique. Let's see. Wayne saying only two new guys I see potential are Wara. Okay, jump. Let me see where I mean. And Oshai, Liberty, Freeman, Liberty, Gee, Simmons are no-goes along with Trent Jr. gone. I truly hope it's Gary's foot issues that are a real reason for his results. Yeah. I mean, I like your list, Wayne. I really am big on Oshai and Jordan Wara. I was big on Jonte, but not anymore. And Jamias was the other guy. Those were really the three the guys that I like right now going forward. Cool Cat saying Fred VanVleet's leadership is proven and his youngins love him. They love his permanent scowl. Yeah, he's done a good job of like really being a tough guy with them, and he's been respected. And that's the important thing, that Fred VanVleet gets respect on his team. And I wish in some ways the respect had been better around Raptors last year. I don't think it was the teammates. I just think it was people in general around Fred. Mike saying, idiot who we don't talk about went on a panel with other NBA people and got destroyed, but he admitted Fred was a solid player, but he didn't like his attitude. He got flamed off the panel hard for his bad takes. It was nasty. Thank you for this bearing of good news, Logical Raptors fanatic. I'm going to give you another 3-pointer because I love hearing that. Yeah, he can get sussed out. You got a 12 now. You got 12 dunks. Yeah, he can get sussed out by people that know what they're talking about. I love that. That's a beautiful thing you just told me, Mike. Trevor saying bridge collapse across the lake in Baltimore, looking for survivors. 120 foot bridge rescue workers searching for 6 unaccounted people. That's awful. It's awful. Cool Cat saying, Lex, our current state is for fans who only experienced the glory days. We had to give them a little bit of negative. Yeah, I mean, this is too much, though. Cool Cat, we don't have to have so much crazy negative shit happening around our team. It sucks. The Tampa stuff really sucked. The relocation down there sucked. The pandemic sucked. There's been a lot of disruptions to the Raptors and their good vibes and going good places. The pandemic was a huge one because we were like the best team in the league when the pandemic hit. And we were looking really good for the postseason. So, I mean, everybody who thinks that everything's just hunky-dory and rosy picture all the time for basketball teams, you're crazy. And this is just the real life things of the NBA. The 2019 championship was amazing and wonderful. And we hope we get to feel that again sooner than later. But y'all need to realize the realisticness of it. And Cool Cat is saying the inexperienced fans that just think it is an easy time, well, we're going into a hard time. And this is where you test your mettle as a real fan or not. And if you turn on us, you deride us, you make fun of us, kick us while we're down, you're not a real fan. You got to ride with us through the bad and the good. And if you show up when the good only happens, well, that's fine. You're a bandwagoner, but you're not ride or die like we are. That's what I'll say. Nameless saying we're swimming through the ocean towards the shoreline, the end of the season as fast as we can. That's right. I'm with that. Fiercely saying, gosh, we missed Logical in his informative interventions. Thank you. No, I love that Mike just came in and gave us the deets on JFL's contract. And that's just a strength of his. We love you, Mike. We really do. You're like an MVP. Seriously. Nameless has got all kinds of waves we got to swim through. He's even got a shark in the water. Yikes. Chris is saying the boat had a total collapse of its electrical system. Well, that sounds like that's upkeep and oversight to make sure it's a safe thing. You know, this is crazy what we're doing with Boeing right now. Like, y'all know what's happened with Boeing recently? Boeing got a bailout to help save the airline industry. And instead of spending that money on fixing their planes, they put stock buybacks and made a corporate profit, like the model for all kinds of stupid ass corporations right now, with buying back their own stock and making a profit for the shareholders. Well, instead of investing in making sure their equipment is safe, they went and made profits on it. So they're stealing money from the public on a bailout, first of all. And now their planes are dangerous. And in a lot of ways, they're having a whole PR nightmare because planes are not safe and they look like idiots. That's what I'm saying. This is a problem. So I could say maybe this company that does this cargo ship cut some corners on things and they had a system malfunction. I could probably say that's probably true. It sounds what it is right there. Yeah, cargo ship slammed in the bridge. It's crazy. Cool Cat saying, "Oh, Lex, I have to say, Past California had another annual legendary tour date. Happy for our guy." Yeah, we mentioned this earlier that Siakam beat the Clippers last night and that Past California was in effect. He would have gotten the 2-shot if the Lakers weren't handheld by the referees, honestly. Yeah. Chris, is it Fanny? Is that the name of the band? I want to see what the answer is. Adriana said 1 in 100 people have epilepsy. And this is another thing we could say about being aware about epilepsy is that, you know, just because you don't have epilepsy right now, sad to say, people can develop epilepsy at any time in their life. And you may not care about epilepsy right now, but if you got epilepsy later in your life, I'm sure you care about it then. So it's good for you to be aware of this. You know, injuries and accidents happen all the time. And sometimes you can develop epilepsy from getting hit on the head. And y'all need to be aware of this. So it's good to be aware of epilepsy and the people that have to, live their lives around it. You know, Fiercely saying, Chris, I answered your trivia, the Bengals. Okay, let's see. Chris is saying it's the Go-Go's. Is it the Go-Go's? That's a good one. And that's awesome. All right. Yeah. Okay. So it's the Go-Go's. I like that test. And that makes sense. It's the Go-Go's. All right. I was thinking like it may be like a girl group from back in the 50s, like a doo-wop band, like the Shy Lights or the Supremes, as I mentioned before. Let's see. Good stuff, Chris. You know what? I'm going to give you a dunk for stumping me on music trivia. I said, try and stump me. And well, Chris did it. Chris did it. He did it. All right. So he's at 40 now. 40 dunks for Chris. Nice. Let's see. Mischief saying, Lex, what Raptors percentage of getting the draft at number 6? Okay, I said that just a little bit ago. I'll say it again. Right now, as it currently stands, we have a 72, 73% chance of keeping our pick right now. So it went up. It was just above five before. Adriana said he answered the trivia before I could. So it was the Go-Go's. It was the Go-Go's. All right, cool. Fiercely got and the Go-Go's with Belinda Carla. Vacation holiday, I wanna vacation out of the day. Yeah, I don't know the lyrics, but I know the tune. Chris comes here, the great Chris come, a great knowledgeable Nostradamus of our channel. Let's see what he's saying. How about those Raptors? I like Jonte Freeman and Jordan going into next year. Too bad Jonte screwed himself. Yeah, who could have predicted this, Chris? That we would find out the ugly truth about Jonte Porter yesterday. Chris is saying head over heels for her when she was 10. Laugh out loud. Wow, she wrote that song when she was 10, Belinda Carlisle. Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. Yeah, yeah. When I hear this song, Head Over Heels, I always think of Tears for Fears first because they had a song called Head Over Heels. But the Go-Go's did have that song, Head Over Heels. But I always think of that song, I Get Weak. Didn't they sing I Get Weak? I get weak when you're next to me, weak when I can't sleep when I look in your eyes. Yeah, I think that's the Go-Go's. I'm not totally sure. I get my girl groups mixed up. I mean, there's Bananarama. There's a couple out there. Logical saying Shaq's cousin was laughing at his takes and everyone was clowning his NBA knowledge. Raptor bias hate will always come back to bite you. I love it. Yeah, make Pensera publicly humiliated. I'm all about that. Every time Robert Pensera gets publicly humiliated in any kind of forum by knowledgeable real fans, I'm all about that. Trevor's saying the ship lose power and slammed in the bridge. Well, that's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare, I'm sure, for that ship captain, knowing what was about to happen. And how the fuck do you stop that? Cool Cat saying, damn, I wanted to chuckle and a dunk. In my head, the statement about the tough dates was funny. All right, where was your statement about the tough dates? I don't even remember that. I'm sorry, Cool Cat. You know, I'm gonna give you a dunk just in good faith. How about that? I'm gonna give you a dunk because you're always a regular contributor that's always here. So you're getting a dunk. You got a Doug Christie 13. That's right. You got Doug Christie 13. That's right. G saying, speaking of degenerates, someone wrote the most gross comment on Ellen's food post, and she exposed it in the person. Ellen Schroeder. Somebody wrote some really gross comment on there. Well, hopefully they get what they get. That's right. Wayne saying, I have to no joy in our current state. We have a good coach and some players who want to be here. That's hopeful, but my hope of a championship is further down the line than that a year ago. Now, I think this is accurate and it's true. I mean, last year at the end of the year, we kind of saw the pieces where we could be really good. Nick, even though Nick fucked us up, but we're going to have to start over with a new coach. So there's going to be a level of starting over no matter what with Nick's departure. But I felt better about things. And now in some ways, you know what? I like that what Darko said, like 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, look at where we're going to be then as far as things, Wayne. And that's what we got to keep our eyes on. I could see progress this year coming up as a little bit more. Then after that year and a little bit more, and we'll have to see what the stair steps of going into the postseason are and where we land with our results. So it's going to be different. Cool Cat saying, isn't ABBA before the Go-Go's? But this is the thing. Chris said this all-female group. ABBA has 2 males and 2 females in the group. So they do not count in that. So, yeah. Mo saying, congratulations on another Lexathon. Thank you, Mo, and you're big help in it. MSJ saying, ABBA, the guys wrote the music. I did not like Carlisle's solo garbage. He didn't like I was singing Heaven is a Place on Earth. Come on now. That's awesome. I get weak as Belinda Carlisle when she went solo. Yeah, I guess I know her songs better than that one. Like there's Vacation. And there's a couple other ones. We Got the Beat. We got the beat. We got the beat. All right, I've come to the end of the chat. And so let's see. Good game. Good game, Mike. Good stuff. All right, let me go over the recap on things. All right, the Nets beat the Raptors last night. And in some ways, we're happy about that. Thank you, Dennis Schroeder. My 3 stars of the game were Javon Freeman Liberty, Dennis Schroeder, and Kobe Simmons. Why'd you give a star to Net? Well, because I like him, and he helped us lose. Let's see. There is Instagram stories. We got the 3 Kansas Jayhawks involved in the game last night. Grady Dick, Jalen Wilson, Oshai Abaji. Kansas, of course, put out by Gonzaga this weekend in the tournament. And Kelly Olynyk talked mad trash to the Jayhawks on our team, apparently. That's what we hear. Javon Freeman Liberty's got his highlights going on Instagram. Very cool stuff. I like seeing that. Let me see if there's any other stuff that I want to talk about from the Instagram. I think that's it. There's very limited Instagram. Once again, 72% chance we're keeping our pick right now. The Raptors set their franchise record in a season for assists, 2,086 assists. And well, we got 11 games to go, so let's pile on the top. And I'm going to tell you right now, if we do good things next year, I could see us topping that number next year, and we are going to be even better. So I'm all about that, and we should get an even higher assist total next year. That's what I'm hoping. We'll have to see. Yeah, the Jonte stuff is absolutely dreadful and awful. It's solely his responsibility. Anybody's trying to pin anything on the whole team, you're idiots. And yeah, it's not going to work. The NBA understands that if this is an issue with just him, it's going to be his fault, and he's going to get punished himself. So, Jonte, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. I cannot believe what has happened in the last day or so. This is ridiculous and stupid. You are so dumb throwing this problem into this kind of thing. This is so stupid, you idiot, you dumbass. All right, yeah. Happy birthday to Wayne Embry. Is his birthday today, and it's also Justice Winslow's birthday today, guys. So happy birthday to Wayne Embry and Justice Winslow. The playoffs have started in our Yahoo Fantasy League. Make sure you guys check on your team. So far, it looks like Peter has a slight lead over me after 1 day of action. MK's leading over Duke. Cunnin is losing to JP. And Raymond Jacob has a lead on David right now. I love it. The 8 seed has got the lead on the number 1 seed currently in the first round of the playoffs. Raymond Jacob, you going to play some spoiler right there, my guy? You go ahead and do it. All right, thanks for watching me today on the Lexathon. We talk about what we talk about on this show every morning. It's the Raptors. And some days we have different topics. Well, we had a new topic today. And I appreciate all the real ones, my regulars coming in here and hanging out with me today and talking about this. And otherwise, everybody else that came in here and try to troll us and talk shit while we're down, fuck you is what I'll say. Chris is saying good night, everyone. Thank you, Chris. I'll give you that 100 points for the trivia, and also thank you for stumping me with the Go-Go's today. That was a good question, and I actually honestly almost said the Go-Go's, but for some reason I was really thinking it's a girl group from the 50s, but it was the Go-Go's. I was like, damn, actually my instinct was kind of to say the Go-Go's. I can't believe I didn't say that. G saying, Wayne, when we went the rebuild route, my heart sunk because it takes years to develop and build chemistry. But a few trades and good picks will put us right back. We got Scotty and Grady. Have faith. Now, the one thing I'll say about the Raptors that's different than the other rebuilding teams and the other teams have been mired at the bottom is Scotty. Scotty has a ceiling and a potential that is absolutely insanely good. And as Scotty progresses, as Scotty leaps like he did this year, the team will leap with him. Just trust in this. This kid is an amazing, amazing top level superstar in this league. And having him in our franchise and him loving being a Raptor, him being very bought in and engaged and involved is a really good sign for the future. We're going to wrap him up in a new extension this summer. And Scotty has a path in success and all kinds of great things coming towards him with the Raptors. And we're going to build a very capable, great team crafted around him that it's going to be really nice. So just trust in that. Trust in Masai and Bobby, and trust in Scotty that his level, and he will pull us up himself because he will be that premium type superstar. Watch. Peace to you, G. And Cool Cat Santos, hoping to see OG. Bummer. Next year it is. Yeah, pretty likely that OG will not play tomorrow. Mike saying, G, facts. Scotty is a good starting piece to place for the rebuild, and we're going to build on that now. New hope and new chances. I like Mike's enthusiastic. I know he got disenchanted during the offseason last year, and I love seeing Mike come around now, and he's feeling really positive about the direction we're in and the things that we got going. I am too. I think Grady's been a really special surprise this season, and I really do see how him and Scotty fitting in the future is going to be absolutely promising. Absolutely. Everybody's saying, salute, Lex and the Raptor family. What you said about Jonte about money was 100% on point. I was thinking the same when I said the interview on Open Gym. Yeah, it sucks. I wish that in some ways this is the problem. I'm telling y'all, in some ways, some people are going to choose this and some people are going to choose this. I'm going to choose this because I choose human heart and people and not money. Money is not going to be the root of the evil for me in my life. And well, Jonte Porter, the money has become the root of evil in your life, and it has taken something very dear to you away from you. And that's sad. That's sad. Wayne saying our guys are babies. Denver, Warriors, Bucks, Lakers, and U.S. championship is tough. Well, yeah, we're young. We're going to grow into it. But I like the aptitude and how quickly our guys grow. You can look at how old Grady and Scotty are, and they're a little bit more advanced than the other people in the league that are at their age. They're a little bit more worldly. They're a little bit more aware. They're a little bit more court savvy. And I think you agree with me on that, on Wayne, that Scotty and Grady are special, very perceptive players. And that attribute about them as individuals will help them grow faster than the average like net player like we saw last night. Those young guys aren't going to grow in the same kind of way because in some ways they're not aware enough and have the ability enough to telegraph like Grady and Scotty do. These guys telegraph. We saw Kobe Simmons telegraphing stuff last night to very good success also. So telegraphing is a totally different skill, and Scotty and Grady got that, both of them. All right, guys, thanks once again for joining me today. I appreciate everybody. Once again, happy Purple Day, Adriana, and everybody else. Please have more awareness about epilepsy, and please inform yourself and educate yourself as much as possible going forward. It is a condition that 1 out of 100 people suffer from, is what Adriana said, and that is a lot more common than you think. Think about it, all right? So, all right, let's go, Raptors. Keep your head up high. Jonte, if you made your bed, you got to lie in it. And honestly, that's your own thing, man. It's like we'll cut ties with you and we will send you off in disgrace, just like the NBA and the Raptors should. Because, man, this is really, really bad. You're an idiot. And honestly, I'm so disappointed. And this is shocking. It's disappointing. It's pathetic, honestly, is what I'll say about that. And Cool Cat saying happy Purple Day. And Race Mode saying, much love, Lex and the crew. Much love to all you guys, my regulars, my real ones. Listen, we can get tried by idiots to come in here and stuff like that, but it don't matter. We're still going to do what we do, and we have fun. Tomorrow, I'll preview both the games tomorrow, but the Raptors 905 versus Motor City Cruise at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then also the Raptors against the Knicks, Scotiabank Arena in the evening. I'll be back then. Please like, comment, share, and support, and join the channel if you want to. Membership does have its privileges. Let's go Raptors and get the fuck off my team, Jonte Porter. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God.